Hello, welcome to Burb's Nest.
Hi.
It is a podcast where we grab a cup of coffee or tea, we sit down, and we just talk about anything. I am Noah or Hexagon Q, and today we have a very special guest on the podcast. He is the host of After School Writers Podcast, which is a LoveLive writing podcast, which I am in, and he is also a pretty well-known writer in AO3. Please welcome DiasPenguin. Hello, welcome to the podcast.
Hey, it's me. Thank you. I will say, famous writer, kind of a stretch, but I've gotten like a lot of notoriety because I tend to build communities a lot. I tend to be like the maker of a lot of Discord servers, so yeah, I don't have to write a lot. Luckily, I just bring the writers to me.
Oh yeah. He owns a lot of writing Discord servers. Right. Yeah.
A total of 2 of them, yeah.
Wait,
Which
2?
isn't
Really?
a lot, but it's weird that it happened twice.
Wait, you only own 2? Wait, I thought you own more than that though. No? You own the LoveLive one and the Bandori one, right? I thought there's more.
The Bandori one isn't mine, though I am a mod on there, and it was inspired by the LoveLive one. It's owned by... I forget, I don't know what his actual handle is. He keeps fucking changing it. It's like AIRSN right now.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, he's chill. His English isn't his like best language, but
It's okay, we don't judge.
but
We don't
he's
judge.
making it work.
Yeah. So before the podcast starts, I do wanna ask you, how have you been? We haven't really been like talking a lot since our last
No.
podcast,
Yeah, so I guess we'll jump right into that piece. Like the other podcast, we just haven't gotten together to record a lot. And I mean, it's always been kind of hard to record that podcast because our schedules are fucking awful.
Yeah, I have to agree on that, man.
We had a lot of issue like scheduling because it'd be like, hey, what days are you available? And then like on the day of, people would be like, sorry, I can't do today. Just so infuriating when you're trying to organize a group of people.
That is true. It's
It's like the same problem with like D&D, but honestly D&D is much worse.
yeah, honestly, man. I don't know, man. I really try to like get all the whole team together, but it's really been hard because I think as people grow up, the schedules become more hectic, and everybody has their own lives. So I kind of get the if like people really can't meet up together anymore. But like I would just hope that we have we can record the last episode together, to close off the podcast in a nice and good way.
Yeah, it'd be cool to do like a final episode, unless the other guys want to keep going. But
It's a bit
I think of
hard,
myself as a pretty flexible person. Whatever
Yeah.
people want to do, I'm down to do. Even though I started it, I'm not the type to be like that strict of a mod.
That's fair. Yeah, that's fair. Honestly, yeah, because I think it's a very nice podcast to start on. To be honest, I kind of enjoyed it to talk about writing every week, or not every week, like maybe every episode. I guess a month, could be 3
Yeah.
months, 5 months, a year. Who knows? Right?
I mean, you started that podcast, to be clear.
I mean, I was the one who came up with the idea, if I'm not wrong. But it's just
You came
you've
up
been
with
the
the
host.
idea of the podcast, and I kind of stole it from you right
Yeah,
under
no,
your nose.
you've been the host for so long because like I think you have been a better host than me at that point of time, because I was like very new to public speaking
thank
at that
you.
point of time. Yeah. So it's like for me it's very hard to introduce people at that point of time because I couldn't have the speaking skills to do so. So it would be better if I had handed it to you, and it was a good choice. It really was a good choice.
Well, it was really interesting as well because this was a podcast of writers, right?
Yeah.
And writing people don't necessarily. This was like one of my biggest growing pains with that podcast was writers don't always want to talk. Sometimes writers will be on a podcast and they'll spend like 20 minutes and not say a word and just listen.
You're talking about me.
Which is very different from like other podcasts that I've done, right? Like
Yeah.
when I was younger, I did like a YouTuber's podcast because I was like, I want to be a gaming YouTuber. I want to grow my Minecraft channel. So I got a bunch of other YouTubers and we did like a podcast for a while. And that one was really easy for me because YouTubers are like more naturally prone to wanting
Talking,
to talk.
Yeah.
We're just yappers, all of us. And so it became very natural for me to be like, hey, what do you think? And then I could like sit down for a while. But with the writing podcast, like, writers just don't talk.
It's true. But no, I think I've grown more to talk. I've grown more to talk about it because I do want to share my works with other people, honestly, and I like to share my thought process on writing and stuff. It's
Oh yeah, totally.
yeah, because I think it's really interesting to hear like other writers share their progress too. I know writers really don't talk sometimes, but I'm just interested to like know like how other people like come up with their stuff sometimes. It's really interesting. So that podcast kind of gave me a new lease on how people really write and stuff. How people really get to their ideas.
Yeah. I'm glad.
Yeah, it's been a really good podcast. I'm glad I got the idea for the podcast. But yeah, I think it's all good. If we could continue, I think that's pretty good. But if we couldn't, then at least one last episode would be really nice to end it off. I think it's pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, I'll have to message the group after this, and we'll see what happens.
Yeah, man, I missed that podcast. But yeah. So actually,
so what is this podcast that I'm on now? Actually,
no, because
I understand that you said we're grabbing coffee. I don't have any coffee. I got a can of Red Bull.
No, I mean any drink is very possible. And for this podcast, I think this podcast is more like what I started back in 2021. Yes, I started this back in 2021 because like I wanted to like get to
damn.
Yeah, I wanted to get to know people better. And because our writing podcast has very spastic schedules. Like we're gonna have to wait like 6 months for one episode. So we are like, okay, you know what? Me and this other guy, we are like, okay, we should just start another episode. Like we should start another podcast to be more general. Not talk about writing and love life all the time. We could talk about.
So you were trying to do like 2 podcasts at the same time? Damn.
Yeah. Yeah.
You must have run out of things to talk about real quick.
Nah, it was actually like this idea that I had was actually like pretty good for me. That's what I think, because like I want to get to know people better, because if we are just talking about writing, not everybody's a writer, right? So I like the people that I interviewed over like the 2021 era, it was like let's say we interviewed Moss, Mari. The Moss, the Nesso guy, basically, if you know him. I'm pretty sure you know him.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I recently got him back for the last episode. The last 2 episodes, I mean. But it's just like, he's not a writer. So he wouldn't know, like, if I was to speak to writing to him, he wouldn't, like, exactly know what he's going to talk about writing. So, like, it's more of, like, these kind of people where I get to talk with my friends more, but yet because they're not
so
writers.
Naturally you talk about like God, politics.
No, not politics, man. It's just more about like our, let's say anything. It can be from like LoveLive. It can be like Nestle berries and stuff. I've talked about him with like if you know this Ace Combat game, we've talked a bit about.
Not at all.
Yeah, not at all. I didn't know too until he told me. Until I asked him about like give me a summary of it. That's the kind of thing. So it's like you get to know other people's interests. You get to know what other people really likes, and at the same time you you get to know them better and stuff. It's more fun. I feel like it's very fun this way. But the reason why
you like being the host, you like being the one like asking questions.
I wouldn't really say asking questions. It's more like having a conversation together, because because asking questions can be okay. Some people can give really short answers, but when you have a really like good conversation together, that's when you feel like, oh, you really clicked with the person well. So that's how I know it's a really good podcast for me, and that's my goal for each episode, for each guest to feel like they can have a conversation with me, because I do want to talk with people too, because as much as I love writing, I don't really like to talk about writing all the time. I like to talk with other people with like shared interests, common interests, or even sometimes without a common interest. I could get into the franchise that they like, and see how it goes. It's you get to learn new things, and you get to learn the person better. It's like 2 birds with 1 stone. It's pretty much the kind of thing I was going for.
For sure, one thing like you just kind of learn when interacting with people is just like, hey, sometimes you gotta try to take an interest in other people's stuff.
Yeah.
I don't know. it used to be really common on YouTube to be like, oh, what's your number one advice for making a YouTube channel? And it's like, do something you love. Right? That was always the advice.
Yeah,
Turns out that wasn't very good advice. A lot of people do what they love and they don't get very far on YouTube, sadly. I know a number of YouTubers have talked about like, oh yeah, it's like a lot of work and a lot of like YouTube is like not fun. It's like being fake. It's like a lot of people hire like thumbnail artists now, right?
Yeah.
All this sort of stuff.
It's just
YouTube's like changed, dude, in like the past 5 years especially. I mean, it's always been like that, but slowly it's gotten more corporate. There's been more like big companies taking over. You look at the top of the boards, it's like, oh yeah, Mr. Beast, the fakest fucking YouTuber in the world. Let's go.
yeah, the Mr. Beast controversy kind of shit. But for me, I think when people say do what you want, do what you love for YouTube, I think it's a really like vague answer, because there's a lot of things going behind the scenes. If you want to be very successful, you gotta put it all out, not just your passion out. You gotta put the hard work, and you gotta make sure that you know the algorithm well too, because even if you got all this good content and then there's no algorithm, you're just posting something like, let's say the trending topic is like basketball, and then you go post a table tennis kind of thing. Nobody's gonna watch it because everybody's interested in basketball instead. So even if your passion is in table tennis, if you want to really succeed, you really have to force yourself to play basketball. I mean, it's
so much like a thing in writing as well. Like if you write for a franchise and you don't get hits, this is something we talked about a lot on the other podcast, but like not getting hits, like we would always say like, hey, do what you love, write what you want, right? It's not like you're making money on AO3 or fanfiction.net or wherever you want to write.
Yeah.
But it really is like a big motivator. I think getting hits, getting comments, getting engagement in that way, seeing people react to your stories and your ideas, it's a big motivator. And it's where like things like quality really matter.
Yeah.
Because you can be like in a really popular franchise, but if you're writing shit, then no one engages with you.
Actually, I think that's a very different case these days. Honestly, let's take like Red Pet for example. I know everybody jokes about that platform a lot. I joke about that platform too, because the only thing that's winning the awards is BTS fics, honestly. But even if the BTS fics are written in like poor quality, they still can get like 2K views minimum, and like maybe
if it gets 2K views, I don't think it's a bad fic.
It's not, because like you have people just writing, I love Jungkook, and then Jungkook did this and did that, and that's 2K views straight up, because everybody's crazy for boy bands, especially BTS, that kind of thing. So it's like, it doesn't really matter if your writing is really like ass, as long as you really
good for them. A win for the do what's fun crowd.
Yeah, that's right.
To be clear, I'm not saying you have to be like super disciplined. Like you can have like a passion point, right?
Yeah.
But if you want to be good at anything, if you want to get a lot of engagement, it takes time, it takes effort. This is really true of not just writing, but any skill, right?
Correct. Yeah. But
you can start off with like, oh, I'm so motivated to like start drawing, but eventually it's going to be a grind, and you just got to be ready for when you convert from motivation to discipline.
I feel that besides skills, you really need the correct timing and the correct franchise to really hit it off. Even if you have like the best writing skills, like AO3 doesn't necessarily pick it up. Like the readers don't necessarily like just like look at it because it looks very grand, the description looks like super grand. It just has to catch their eye. So it's not all about the skills at the same time, but I mean, of course, skills is very important to writing like professionally, or writing with like at least some sense of skill is like pretty good. But at the end of the day, it's more about the popularity of the franchise at the same time, because if you're like writing for something that is so small, even if you write
it's
with
definitely a factor.
Yeah. So it has a lot of factors when it comes to
I'll tell
writing.
you, like a lot of writers that I'm around right now are doing like original work, which is like a huge market. So you ever want to pop in, take full creativity, you can say fuck the franchise. I'll do it myself.
Yeah, but I for me, right, because I honestly don't know where I'm gonna do original fiction. Like, as in, I don't know where to post it, because AO3 is more of fan works, right? So it's not original
no, you can
work.
post on AO3. They've got like the original work tag. Yeah.
Yeah, right, okay, right. But you know, I haven't read an original story in like years yet because I've been focusing so much on soldier game, which is really taking a lot of my time.
Yeah.
But I feel that, you know, because I want to perfect the craft. For me, my motivation is just to make sure that I can read it. Like if I go back and read it, like when I publish and I go back and read it, I feel like I did a really good job. I don't really necessarily care about the kudos and the views I get. It's just more like if I feel satisfied by my writing, I think that's good enough. If someone enjoys it, I think that's good enough for me too. You know, it's not all about the
Hell
hits
yeah,
and the
that's
kudos.
awesome, dude.
Yeah, because
It's good.
for
It's
me,
good to like enjoy what you do, right?
yeah, correct. Because I enjoy writing also as much as I find it a chore sometimes. You know, writer's block can be a bitch.
Do you ever read like other people's fics?
Yeah, of course, definitely, for sure. Like as a fanfic writer, I think you have to read other people's stuff too in order for you to like improve, not steal the plot, but like improve in your language. You know, like like one example for me is vocab. You know, sometimes I always use the same word. Like if you see like my previous fics, like maybe it dates all the way back to like 2018 and stuff. I've been using the same vocab for like God knows maybe like 3 lines in a row.
Do you
I've
find
been
yourself
using
like stealing vocab from like the other authors?
yeah, because sometimes like when they write words that I don't understand, they look so funny. They are like, I'm like, what is this word even, right? And then there's Wordle too. So when I play Wordle, and then there's like words like what is this word even, right? So like this helped me to contribute to the vocab, and it makes the writing so much better and easier because I don't have to keep using speaking, talking, say whatever that is. You know, it's very like, I know as a writer it sounds okay, but when you read it, it feels like you're just repeating yourself over and over again, which is which is something you do not want the readers to feel, right? So that is why that's why vocab is like important for me. So
But to
like
be
that,
clear, right? Like, and this is like the nice thing about fan fiction versus something like YouTube where like money is involved. Fan fiction audiences are a lot more lenient, I feel. You can write like a truly atrocious fic and people will just like go along with it a lot of times.
I don't know about that, man. I kind of been
I've written some truly awful stories and I've still gotten comments on them, which is like great fun.
yeah, I mean, yeah, I think for me writing is definitely for
It's also a medium thing though, to be fair, because if you think about like a video, right?
Yeah.
You got these fucking like Zoomers with their ADHD brains, and they're like, 5 seconds of video that's not constantly screaming at me. I gotta click off this shit. Awful, terrible. But like the audience for writing is obviously going to be, you know, we're not writing books for the most part. Some of us are. I see Faye with like 40,000 words per chapter. It's like, all right, she's writing a book. But for the rest of us, we're not writing books, right? Like we're writing like little one-shots and little fun things and ideas, and it's a lot more casual, which is how I like to engage with my hobbies, right?
Yeah.
I wouldn't be doing this if I was like seriously trying to make money.
That's true. I think it's more fun when you take it as a hobby rather than a job. Because as a job, you will feel like you're gonna get sick and tired of that shit real quick.
Yeah, absolutely. I will say though, like, if you can find a hobby that makes you money, that's like 10 out of 10, right?
Yeah, I think Faye has that. Probably she takes it as a job and then she probably earns money
Oh
from
yeah,
that.
I forgot. I give Faye all my money.
What, you owe her commission or something?
Yeah, I've commissioned her a few times. She's great.
Yeah, I don't know.
I used to commission people more, but I don't know. Like, it's kind of hard for me to read fan fictions versus like a manga. Like, I've got a ton of manga that I've just like picked up at Barnes and Nobles, and I'll just like, I'm bored on a Saturday. I'm just gonna like read 2 of these.
Yeah, and then you just don't want to write. No, it's okay, man. Sometimes when writers get sick of writing, I understand because, you know, writers write all the time and sometimes they really just don't feel like writing anymore, honestly. Sometimes I feel like I just want to like just not write anymore because I've been writing. It feels like a chore sometimes. Yeah. And then you can run out of ideas like pretty quickly and it's just, you're like, damn.
Yeah.
And then if you're a writer and all you do is write, so when you're not writing, you just stare at the sky all the day, and then you're just like, wow, what a great day, nice sky, you know.
You write in your second language as well, right? Like, I don't know what your first language is. I assume like Malaysia.
No, my first language is English.
Oh, your first language is English.
Yeah, my second language is my mother tongue language. It's just I don't really like write a lot in Chinese, which is my second language, because I can't write a lot of Chinese. You know, my Chinese is not that great, but still, I can speak.
I might be a dumbass American. You're from Singapore, right?
Yeah, I'm from Singapore. Yeah.
Isn't Singapore like a different country from China?
Yeah, it's not. I'm not from China. China is just their first language is Chinese, but for us, Singaporeans, it's just the main language here is English.
It's a second language that you. Okay, when you said mother tongue, for some reason I imagined that like people in Singapore were speaking Chinese, and you just happened to be like a secret Englishman hiding amongst the.
No, because in Singapore there is a total of like 4 main languages. There's English, there's Malay, there's Chinese, and there's Tamil. You know, these are the 4 main things, because Singapore is more of like a everybody gets together kind of thing, like, you know.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Like that's what in my head I associated it with, like Malaysia.
Yeah, but Malaysia is more of English and Malay, if I'm not wrong.
That's interesting.
I could be wrong. Because all the time I went to Malaysia, I just heard either English or Malay, but I could be wrong. I know there's some Chinese there too, you know. So some Malaysian Chinese there, so you know, yeah, but you know, that kind of topic we can, you know, save it for another time.
That's cool. I also imagine just like China is one of the biggest economies. It's probably like really convenient to like, hey, if you're searching for jobs.
I think China has a very big economy thing, you know,
yeah.
Very, very big. But I mean, they are a big country. I mean, so to be fair, they have a really big thing, so it fits them, you know. It's not like, you know, they have a small country but a big economy. It's crazy, right?
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, so basically back to topic. Writing in Chinese for me is not really the thing, because I cannot really express myself in like Chinese words. I could speak, you know, but I can't write. That's the kind of thing I'm suffering from, I guess. But I guess, you know, it's just a me problem.
It sounds like an interesting challenge, though. I've tried a few times to like talk to people about like trying to organize a D&D session around like Spanish speakers, just because like where I live there's a lot of Spanish speakers and a lot of my friends are Spanish speakers, right? I just think it'd be really fun to have like a fully Spanish speaking group do a cowboy themed like campaign.
Can you even speak Spanish though?
Oh fuck no. I would be the what do you call it?
The outcast.
No, there's a word in Spanish that we were using, but whatever, it doesn't matter. For like the dumbass American foreigner, like similar to like Gai Kokujin, right? In Japanese, it's like, yeah. Oh look, it's the foreigner.
Yeah, it's okay. So it's just a foreigner, but like, I'm sure you don't. Really
but I would be down for that, right? Like I'd be down to be like the one English speaker in like the Spanish campaign. I couldn't DM is the only issue, which like if I'm organizing it, you would expect me to be the DM, right?
Yeah.
Damn, I don't know. I gotta study Spanish before I put this thing together, I guess.
That's right. You just gotta buy more textbooks for Spanish. You gotta start reading for that shit.
Oh God, I hate. I so admire people who make their hobby shit like, oh, I'm gonna like learn all of these languages, or oh, I'm gonna make my hobby like studying history books. What the fuck kind of drugs are you guys doing? My hobby is like playing gacha games and like occasionally pumping out a shitty 2,000 word fan fiction that I thought of in an afternoon, you know? Like,
yeah. it takes a lot of...
I keep it very low key. Oh, and I do a lot of like Discord events. Right now we're doing like a Christmas tree. You drew for that. Thank you very much.
Idol Fanfic Hell, you
like
mean?
That.
Is it Idol Fanfic Hell? The same server?
Yeah, IF Hell is doing it. Kasumi Court is doing it. I got another server that's doing it. Christmas trees. Anyone who's like running a Discord server, like tell your people, hey, it's not about the quality of the art. just like draw something, people will just draw fucking shit, and it's awesome because you get these like great trees.
Yeah, I drew a stick man for you, Dias.
Let me show you the one Kasumi chord, because that one went a little crazy. I'm gonna
You send it through
this
send it through the chat.
Okay, so for anyone who obviously this is an audio podcast, there's no images. So this Christmas tree, I've drawn like a very like plain, like it's got 2 shades of green tree, and on it there's like Himari's head from Bang Dream on like a little, I don't know what you call it, like a hook. I've got like a hook in her head.
Yeah, just a hook.
I've got a hook on Otae. There's 2 Nessos where the star is. There's a sign that just says tree with the shrug emoji, and there's like a flag that someone drew.
I think it's pretty interesting. Is this the Bandori server?
This one is Kasumi chord, yeah. Bang Dream Kasumi, not
Bang
LoveLive
Dream Kasumi. Yeah. It's very confusing sometimes because LoveLive and Bandori, there's this one same character, it's Kasumi and Kasumi, so it's like a bit.
Yeah, and there's like Persona 5 Kasumi as well.
Yeah. Oh my god, there's so many Kasumis.
But yeah, like I love like little events like this, or even like, so at my workplace, right? We have like a place where like people smoke. So like, it's like in the back of the building, and on the 2nd floor, the window that's facing the smoking area doesn't have anyone in that like office, right?
Yeah.
So what I did was I printed a picture of Slender Man, and I cut him out so that it's just the dude. There's no white space at all, and I put him in that window in the empty office. And no one said anything yet, but he's like perfect amount of like not really noticeable unless you're looking right at him, right? So
Yeah.
I'm just waiting for someone to be sitting out back, smoking, chilling, and then they look up and they're like, "What the fuck is that?"
It's crazy. It's the amount of dedication you have for just pranking someone at the back.
I love stuff like this because it's really like good community building to like, I don't know, create red flags.
Yeah,
Creating problems
it's
in the
community
workplace.
building, you know. It doesn't matter about the action. It's just the community building.
Yeah, like I would consider myself like a pretty flexible guy. But like there's some people who you don't really want to work with.
Yeah,
And,
honestly.
like, those people, you find out who they are by like poking them a little bit, right?
Yeah,
By like
correct.
testing them a little bit. And you don't want to be like a huge troublemaker, right? Because then nothing ever gets done and no one ever goes anywhere. But I really appreciate when your Discord server or your office space can have like a problem and your people can be like flexible about it. You know, it's easier in an office, of course, because you're all adults. In Discords, oftentimes you're dealing with kids or people are like not as mature, right?
Yeah.
There's not as much like screening going on, things like that. But I'm always really proud of when a Discord server can run into problems and handle it in like a fairly mature way, you know?
Hell yeah, PogChamp. Yeah, but honestly, yeah, I think running a Discord server can be a bit hard. Although it has that stigma of, you know, the people running the servers might be a bit of a, you know, people who never shower kind of thing.
We don't get great reviews.
Yeah, you really don't get, man, because there's a lot of people out there who are just like predators and stuff. So it's just like very hard for actual moderators who are damn good to be also labeled as just, you know, smelly, sweaty people at the back of the computer screen.
Yeah. It's the gamer aesthetic, dude. We're all eating Doritos and drinking Mountain Dew.
Oh, that's fair. That's a really cool thing. Yeah. So, you know, enough about like writing and stuff, because, you know, writing has been our stuff, you know. So we can move on to Japan, you know, our favorite land.
Yeah.
It sounds so weird, Japan, our favorite land. But
Our
you know,
favorite land. Have you
I
been to
was-
Japan?
yeah, I have. I did. I've been
Ooh.
in May 2023, correct? So that was last year.
Last year, yeah.
Yeah. So for me,
Did you go
like,
to Numazu?
Nope, I didn't. But
Oh wait,
but
no,
because-
you're a Muse girly, aren't you?
Yeah, that's
Did you
right.
go
I
to-
went to the Muse areas. That's right. I only didn't find the school. That's the only problem.
You didn't find it? Oh.
Yeah.
It's based on a real school, right?
Yeah, it is, but I kind of didn't research where it was, so in the end I didn't really get to go there. But I get to see the legendary stairs, the long steps up.
The Your Name one?
Yeah. No, it's the LoveLive steps. I don't care. Don't call it the King
Oh, the LoveLive.
I don't give a shit. I know.
Wait, do they use the same staircase? I actually didn't visit it.
Yeah, no, because it's the same staircase as it always was. I think it's just maintained over the years. But
wait, that's so funny. I didn't know they used the same staircase.
And then it leads up to the temple, which is the same, the same thing you see in LoveLive, that whole temple and stuff. But it just has more stuff inside, and you can write I don't know what's it called now. It's the wooden thing that you hang on the board. You write your well wishes on that board for New Year's kind of stuff.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. The wooden like hanging things.
Yeah. It's like a tradition kind of thing to write stuff on it and then just put there. I had my name on there. It's just I don't know where anyone's gonna find it, but I hope when I go back there next year I'll be able to find it there. I hope, but it might have been clouded by then.
Did they not take it down?
No, because I feel like they might take it down because there'll be always every day there'll be new people putting it up. Like putting their new ones up, so it's like as it's gonna be 2 years. I'm pretty sure my stuff is gonna be like gone by the time, and if it's still there, it's a miracle. It will be as what they say, God's plan to be there.
Yeah. So I ended up going to Kyoto, where they have like all of the really big, really fancy temples, and it's like, dude. All of those little like wooden things, I was looking at them and was like, this is like kind of nice, but it is kind of weird as like a foreigner to like who's like not a Buddhist and not a Shintoist to like grab one of these, and like it's totally acceptable, right? Like no one gave me weird looks or anything. No one was like, oh, you don't belong here. It's just that I felt weird like internally about it,
Yeah, I think it's fine, to be honest. As long as you're just I would say it's fine because you're just praying to the gods. I think it's not really that big of a deal, unless I could be wrong, but I think Japanese people don't really mind about these kind of things. That's what I feel.
Well, yeah, because like a lot of Japanese people like aren't that religious themselves. They just kind of do like the religious prayer stuff out of like a ceremony more so than like real serious like belief. Here in America, we have like a lot of like really intense like Christian groups.
That's what that one's very common. I heard that's very common.
So like you can see like the difference in attitude. Not that I speak to a lot of like Japanese people. I don't speak Japanese. But like from what I've seen, it seems like the general vibe around like these temples is much more like welcoming and more like, hey, do what feels good to you, kind of a thing.
Yeah. I think Japanese people are as good.
And
also,
as that they are so touristy. The ones that I went to the one that was like, what is it, like 1,000 like of the torii gates. I went to that one. I went to like another really pretty one in Kyoto. I also went to Numazu and I saw the Aquar school, which was very cool.
Hell yeah. So how do you feel about that?
You know the shrine that Kanon's like morning jog is?
Yeah, the top of the staircase, that the top of the you have to climb the long way,
So I had to cross a construction area to get to that sign. And I had to like walk up it's the most dilapidated staircase, legitimately like so skinny, and it's like kind of hard to like get your foot on. My feet were hurting so bad, dude. I don't know how the fuck you would do that as like a morning jog. That shit's awful.
I mean, I don't think they really maintain it at that point of time. It's just there, and he has been there since I don't know when, but he has been there for quite some time. They probably didn't touch it at all.
More than 10 years, right?
Yeah, they just left it as it is, and so the steps just became what it is today, I guess.
It's sad.
But as an Aquas fan, when you saw the school, how do you feel? What, you excited?
I was so hyped, dude. In particular because like I just being like really thirsty and there was a vending machine there. but also, but also, it's just like cool because you see like the sports. So to be clear, right? I want to caution anyone who's like an Aquars fan. This is a real school. This is a real middle school. So I went on a Saturday, and there were on the way I saw like all kinds of signs like right at the school that was like, you know, please don't take pictures. Don't be a bitchy, terrible foreigner who treats this place like it's entertainment. Don't go inside. You're not welcome here. So I didn't go inside the school, obviously. I just stood on the outside and took a picture.
That's good. That's good.
But it was still
the
like
culture.
Yeah, I don't know how to. It feels really lame when I think back on it, but I remember in the moment how excited I was to be there and how happy I was that I made it.
No, I think if you see that, if you're a fan of like something and you really see the real life counterpart, I think you'll be like quite amazed by it. It's a normal feeling.
I'm like
you know,
trying to dig into my thoughts now because I remember the walk being like really terrible and me feeling like shit and feeling like I wasted my time, and then seeing Mount Fuji because you can see it like across the like lake area they've got, right? Well, it's not a lake. Mount Fuji's like
it's a mountain, no?
It's like past the water anyways. But yeah, like that whole day that I was in Numazu was super sick because Numazu is full of like Aquar shit, even though like the Sunshine Cafe is no longer there. The what is it, Mari's like hotel, they took down a lot of the LoveLive stuff and now they're just like a normal hotel again, right?
Yeah.
But like there's still a lot of stores with just like, hey, here's like a Nesso or something, here's like a little shrine to one of the characters. Like the shopping street still has like the LoveLive like manhole covers. There's like the gamers store is just so much Aquar shit.
Oh, there's a gamer store at Numazu.
Yeah, the gamer store in Numazu. Gamers, by the way, fantastic store chain.
Oh, fantastic store. I went to the Akihabara and that was
yeah, dude. It was all like idol stuff. The first day I was in Akihabara, I'd never heard of them. I walked by them and I heard I forget, it wasn't LoveLive, but it was like idol music, right?
Wasn't it
I think it
Ian
was
Stars?
HoloLive.
Oh, HoloLive. Okay.
And I was like, what the shit? And so I stepped in and I was like, oh shit, it's like all idol shit.
Yeah, it's so good. Like I stepped into gamers for Akihabara and the first level was literally all just LoveLive, and that was like a great heaven for me to go buy stuff because that's what I really wanted. Because in Singapore you really couldn't find any other stuff like that.
No, not at all.
Like,
it's a pain in the ass if you want to find that shit here in America.
And Singapore also, they charge freaking high prices for it. And in Japan, it's like half the price. And it's good stuff. And of course, I went to splurge on that thing. And then I went to the 5th floor and there was Bank Dream and I splurged again.
Yeah.
So yeah, the moment I came out of the store, I was almost empty-handed with my wallet. So it was just crazy.
The difference in price is huge because like, so there's like a Panda Miku that I got in Akihabara that was like 1,300 yen, right? And then I check like Amazon in America and it's like $30.
Yeah, shit is cheaper in Japan, man. Even the Ichiban Kujis, you know, the gacha, the real life gacha, you know, it's so much cheaper in Japan compared to like, let's say Singapore, where I have to spend like thrice the price for one ticket, which is freaking crazy, you know. Honestly,
I spent like a shitload.
No worries. I've spent 3 full sets on Ichiban Kuji before I get your paid.
How do you feel about Akihabara? Do you think it's like it was like worth the hype when you went?
For me, hype, I wouldn't really say that's hype, but I feel like more of, you know, I get to visit there's a lot of anime stores that I get to visit. There's a lot of things that I really wanted to buy and I wish to buy if I had more money, but you know, because before I went to Japan, I was like, so this is a very short story, fun fact. Before I went to Japan, I was like, you know what, I don't think I should bring so much money. I probably wouldn't buy so much stuff there because I think that, you know, maybe they're exaggerating it a bit, right? They probably wouldn't have so much stuff there, right? So I just bought like a bit less than 1k. I go there and then I realized I ran out of money within like 2-3 days.
Were you
I was
buying like really expensive stuff? What happened?
The problem I had with Japan was just the acrylic stands were fucking expensive. They are everything else is cheap, but the acrylic stands they are so much more expensive for no absolute reason. Like quintessentials. I bought a Miku acrylic stand that is 4,400 yen. If you calculate that into US dollars, that is actually a lot for one acrylic stand. Just for one. And it's crazy because it's not even some kind of unknown store. It's in Radio Kaikan. It's an official store where they sell it like at such a high price, and I was so shocked. That's what absorbed the most of my money because of that. Because of the acrylic stands. It's really very expensive. So the next time I go to Japan, I would consider the acrylic stands before I buy. I wouldn't splurge on it again. Like that was the 50% of my cost of Japan. That's how I had to go and lend money from my parents. Say that I need more money to buy stuff, which is crazy. Yeah, which is so crazy, right?
No.
Yeah.
When I went to Akihabara, I only planned because I had heard people say like, oh, you should go, but you should only plan one day in Akihabara because here's the thing, it really is just stores, right? Unless you're eating at like the maid cafes, which I don't personally care for, right?
Yeah.
But like the experience of being surrounded by so much anime stuff and so much like video game stuff is so sick, actually. I spent like 3 days in Akihabara just like exploring and like buying shit.
Yeah. But
by the way, I didn't spend money until my last day in Japan.
Oh damn, okay, no, that's some self-control.
So,
I like that.
Or like, no, I spent money on like food, obviously. But like I didn't buy like figures and stuff until like the day before like my plane home, because I was like, I didn't want to drag that shit to Kyoto and Numazu.
Yeah, that's true. But yeah,
it was really great because I had already spent like 2 days just entering anime stores and seeing what they have and like getting excited, right? And thinking about, all right, I want this, I want this, I want this.
That's right. That's what my thought was exactly when I entered so many, because like I had the first time I went to Akihabara, I went to like explore. I couldn't even finish exploring on the first day. That's how bad it was because it is so much to explore.
Completely agree. I think like if you go to Japan, 2 days in Akihabara at least, if you're like a big anime fan.
I spent 4 days in Akihabara, by the way.
You spent 4?
I feel 4 days.
I feel like 3 was the perfect amount, and it was only 3 because I wasn't buying stuff on the way.
Yeah, because
if I was like buying stuff, I would have been there 2 days, honestly.
Yeah, because for me, right, I would like to walk around is maybe 2 to 3 days. 4th day is to think about whether I really want this stuff that I've been eyeing on since the first day, that kind of stuff, just to go back and see.
Which is the way to do it, is explore, get all your options, get your mind together, and be like, do I really need this?
Yeah, right? That's right. That's what the 4th day was for, is to really think whether I really want this thing or not. But the first day is to like grab everything mostly and just buy.
So how long were you in Japan?
For a week. So you can say half the time I was in Akihabara.
Did you like explore anywhere else in Tokyo? You go to Shibuya?
Yeah, I did went to Shibuya. Okay, so Akihabara, the hype was there, but the one thing I didn't get the hype was the Shibuya Scramble. I went there, I crossed the road, and I was like,
agree.
Yeah, okay, and I was like, and so I was just crossing the road, and it was just like, wow, okay, yeah, that's it.
I took my picture of the Project Sekai view. I took my picture of the World Ends With You view, and then I was like, yep, this is good.
Yeah, I don't know.
I got the reference.
I thought I would feel some kind of way when I crossed the road, but it was just a normal road. Like
it is, yeah.
Yeah, I know.
Well, I will say like there's like stuff to do that's like touristy around Shibuya.
Oh,
so
of course,
like,
definitely.
The Shibuya Sky View. There's other stuff to do.
I know there's
but
a
you
Nintendo
have to, like,
store
book
there.
it in advance.
There's a Nintendo store there. I remember. I think. Was I right? I think there was a Nintendo store there.
There's a Nintendo store there? Oh,
I heard a lot of people go there to buy their Nintendo stuff. Don't quote me on this, but I just remembered. But I could be wrong. you could if you're going back there ever,
I
you can
hope
just
anyone who's listening, if you go to Japan, you do some research before you go.
yes, that's very important because you need to know where you need to go. Very important thing. Even right now, like because I'm going Japan next May because I won the Popping Party Budokan concert tickets.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, it was
Yo,
very
that's
lucky
sick.
because I bought one CD for it. I bought the are you still following Popping Party though, Dias? Or have you just
no,
lost?
not as much.
Yeah, okay. So basically, I just bought one of their latest Blu-rays. So every CD and Blu-ray comes with a code for the concert, right? So yeah, so I just bought one Blu-ray. That's pretty much it, and I used that code, and I passed it to a friend. And then because you to create an E Plus account, you need to have a Japanese phone number, and I don't have one, so I had to go and pass it to someone else to help me do the ballot. Right? Yeah, that's the pain.
You
the
have to
pain.
just commit like fraud for a second, real quick.
I'm not committing no frauds, but honestly, it's just passing the ballot ticket to the guy and just praying that I win the ticket, because for me, if I really think that my luck if I use too much of my luck, I wouldn't get anything, because during AFA, during this anime convention in November, the end of November, I went to, I won the Seiyu's autograph for two Bank Dream Seiyu autographs, the My Go ones. So
Yeah,
namely,
I think you posted that. That was sick.
yeah, I had a video for it, but just to sum it up for you, I won 2 autographs on the same day from 3 tickets. Because each ticket, I have 2 Hina tickets and 1 Rin ticket, Hina PO ticket and Rin Shower ticket. So I had 2 and 1, and I won both Seiyus from 3 tickets. So I thought I was damn lucky, and then I thought I was like, shit, am I gonna win the Popipa Budokan one? Because that was the one I actually wanted to go for. That was my that's my first. If I ever win, that would be my first concert. So I really wanted to win because it's Budokan, right? Even though they're using half the stage, which is a bit disappointing, I guess. But I mean, I would still die for the concert. I would go for it. I really wanted to, and I'm glad I won. I'm really glad because I've seen a lot of Twitter people. They bought 10, 11 CDs, so they had 11 codes, and none of them won. None of the codes won at anything at all. So
hey, we got
yeah, that's why. So I felt like I was super lucky to get these things back to back. It was really lucky for me. So
congratulations.
Yeah, thank you, man. Thank you. I really wanted to go for this. So but as I was saying, even though the trip and the concert is in May, I'm still planning my trip now in December, because it's very important to know where you want to go. So it's more enjoyable when you follow the plan in Japan, because Japan is a very big place, honestly. And if you don't plan well, or you're gonna get messed up in that place, man. You confirm gonna get lost somewhere, and it's gonna be a pain. Yeah, it's gonna be a pain in the ass to find, because I remember.
Wait, why did you say messed up though? Are there gangs ready to beat you up?
No, it's just more I wouldn't
What
want
kind
to
of
say.
area are you visiting?
I don't know, because I feel Japan is very big, and then if you really get lost, it's really gonna be a very painful experience, because my previous Japan trip, that was Shinjuku. Well, let me tell you about Shinjuku Station, right? The station is very big, right? If you've been to Shinjuku Station,
I think it's the biggest one. It has 20 exits, something like that.
Yeah. So I came back from Akihabara. My parents came back from shopping. So me and my parents, we were in Shinjuku Station, different parts of it, and we spent 40 minutes messaging each other just to find each other.
Oh no!
Yeah.
You couldn't FaceTime or anything.
Yeah, because I didn't know why we didn't. Actually, we did FaceTime, but we were just confused. We were like, where is this place? So where are you? No, where are you? So we keep asking each other where we are, but we keep getting lost in the middle of nowhere. And then we just left and right. Yeah, and so it just got in the end, it just got wow. It just...
So when you say Japan will mess you up, you mean that it's hard to navigate?
Yeah. It's hard to navigate. I mean, it's not that hard if you can read Japanese. I mean, if you're fine with the way, there's some people who know Japanese, so if they read the signs, they probably know where to go. But
in Tokyo though, all of the train stations have English under the sign though.
Yeah, they do, but it's more like Exit 20, this name. That's pretty much it. They don't tell you where to go. They just tell you Exit 20.
I was very
straight
reliant
up.
on Google Maps the whole time that I was there.
Yeah, I also tried to rely on Google Maps for Shinjuku Station itself, but it kept bringing us a goose chase, just everywhere. We're just going everywhere at this point. Like it's a miracle we managed to find each other in 40 minutes. I thought it would be like 2 hours search, bro.
I can imagine for sure. I was solo, like I was on a solo adventure. I would hate to be like trying to like, especially underground, because Google Maps doesn't work underground. So if you're in like one of the underground subways, you're just like disconnected. You're like, well, I have the instructions. So I would hate to be like trying to navigate and trying to find someone at the same time, for sure.
For sure. But Shinjuku's not even underground, and it's so confusing. That's just you just have to imagine. Even Google Maps can't even help you on that. It's crazy. Right. So yeah, that's a advice. It's just I mean, Shinjuku is just Shinjuku, but the rest of the trip is you gotta kind of plan it for yourself. So
if you
know where
have
to
the
go.
money, Universal Studios with the Mario World is so much fun.
Yeah, but let me
it's
tell you
also
that
very
the queue
expensive.
is crazy, man. The queue.
I
Oh,
spent like $300 something to get the super fast pass thing, so I was able to
Yeah.
get in pretty quick.
I guess so, but for me, I'm not really a fan of like amusement parks, so I'm not really gonna go there to do stuff.
Really?
Yeah.
I feel like if you're going to someplace like Japan, especially if you're like hella weeb like we are, like Universal Studios is fantastic because it's just like weeb themed like restaurants and like, oh, here's the One Piece like water show, here's the Mario like themed play park
yeah,
with like
but
the Luigi
I'm
watch
not really too
that you can
interested
like
in
earn
like
points
all of
on.
those.
It's great. I loved it.
Yeah, it's great, but like I'm like you said, One Piece. I'm not really interested. I'm also not interested in Mario, because the animes they all have there are like more of the mainstream ones. I guess the bigger ones like Demon Slayer, One Piece,
Yeah,
and
there's a
all
lot
that
of
other.
Demon Slayer.
Yeah, there's the bigger stuff that I don't really like.
So when you went to Japan, did
Yeah.
you mostly like what sort of stuff did you do? You went through Akihabara, obviously. So did you mostly were you mostly like low key? You didn't plan any like events or like Tokyo Skytree, Kirby Cafe, like those things?
I don't know where
No,
I
like
was, but no,
concerts?
there was a market that I went to, or there was like this. We went to this temple, but there's this long. If I remember correctly, I don't remember what the name is called, but it's nearby the Tokyo's the Sky Tree there, that high tower. It's nearby there, but there's this one long stretch of like road where there's stores and it will lead to a temple. That's one of the places where I've been to. And then the other place I've been to was Mount Fuji, but not completely like up there. We just went to like the nearby roads, and we
Damn,
got
you
as
actually
high
went to
as we
Fuji.
possibly could. Yeah, but I managed to get a picture of myself with the Mount Fuji mountain at the back. So that's considered I went to Mount Fuji, right? Considered. Considered I don't climb. So I've been there. Then after that, I've been to the Team Labs. Everybody's been talking about Team Labs a lot. I've seen a lot of before I went to Team Labs, I've seen a lot of like my friends and a lot of online people. They go to Team Labs, they take picture of the crystal room and stuff.
Yeah.
With the water. So I thought it's gonna be like I thought it would be like a normal kind of stuff.
I didn't go to Team Labs.
Stuff.
I thought it was too gimmicky. But did you like enjoy it?
I would say it's a 7 out of 10 experience. It's a 7.5 about there. I think it's okay, but for me, it's not really part
So
of my
to
interest.
explain, Team Labs is sometimes you'll see people like post YouTube shorts about it. It's the crazy light show where you're like in the middle of it, right? Where you're like walking on like huge blue hues and all these rainbows and stuff. They're really popular on like YouTube shorts.
Okay.
Hello?
Yeah. Oh, my bad. Now I was reading something because I got an order from something. So yeah, I'm sorry, my bad. But
It's
Team
your
Labs is
story,
just
man. Why am I explaining this? You explain what Team Labs is then.
damn. Okay. Yeah. Team Labs is just a place where you get to see all the water works, the light shows, and then there's like a lot of mirror stuff. it's something you see a lot in a lot of people's Twitters and stuff. I've once seen Akarin, sorry, post this flower
Very
place.
touristy, yeah.
Yeah, she posted with this flower place. This flower thing was in Team Labs too. Team Labs is not all about the water, light work show, all this kind of stuff. There's even flowers in there, and there's like a garden house stuff with aircon, and it's all the very nice. It's very nice for like scenery stuff. If you like scenery, I think it's a place you might want to visit. It's a pretty
Well, I think they're
place.
like literally listed as a museum, right? I think they're like listed as like, hey, check out this like art that we've got on display. But it just
I
so
don't
happens that you're
really-
walking through it.
I might be wrong, but I don't remember seeing any art. It's just more of like you see water stuff, you see light shows, you see mirrors, you probably see a lot of plants, and then you go through water and stuff. It looks all very nice in the
Which
end.
I
But
think,
for me,
if you're going to spend like a ton of money and you're going to a foreign country, you want an experience like that. Right?
yeah, you at least
As
want to
much
experience
fun
this
as it is
once.
to like blend in the crowd and just see the everyday Tokyo, see what people are doing from their day to day, see just people like in their natural, like Shibuya Crossing or at Shinjuku Station, right?
Yeah,
I think you want like something grand, whether it's like a Universal Studio like theme park, or it's like the Kirby Cafe, or it's like it's something that's like an event that's like exciting, right? Or it's like a concert. I know a lot of people do like concerts. I'm not great with noise. But like I can see like for other people why the appeal of like a concert would be like a great draw. Just like I feel like you should be willing to do something that's really hype and really exciting, right?
yeah, correct. I feel that if you want to go to Japan, you probably should say like what you say, just see people what they do, normal Japan life. Not all is about the tourist attractions. I think it's more interesting to see what people do every day and stuff, and their amenities and stuff. It's easier. It's more interesting that way. I think not just the go to anime stores and see what to buy. What's
It
the
sounds like
latest
we're
figure
saying
you want to buy.
opposite things. I'm like, yeah, you shouldn't just see what people are doing in their everyday. Fallen's like, nah, I just like stalk people, dude. That's all I do.
No, I mean it's interesting to also see like it's not like anime depicts.
But
people,
no,
like,
I
sometimes
understand what you're
just-
saying. You're saying that you
Yeah.
like the low key aspects of visiting a foreign country, right?
Yeah, like how people always like go to work and that kind of stuff. Just the normal walk, like walk around and you see like the normal lives of Japanese people every day. I mean, of course, not stalking a certain person. It's just like seeing around. Like,
The way we're
every-
talking about it makes it feel like it's like a zoo exhibit. Like, see the Japanese in their natural environment.
It's not a zoo, but yeah, you kind of speak it that way, honestly.
But I totally agree with you that there is something sort of magical about like, hey, I've lived in America all my life. Now I'm in Japan, and I'm just like experiencing what a Japanese person like using trains as an American. Radically different way of getting around, right? Not necessarily worse, not necessarily better, but it's just different. Having the fucking hot chocolate in the vending machine, warm drinks in the vending machine, so sick.
Yeah, that's never been heard of in like. Yeah, that's why. See, Japan is a very interesting country, to be honest. So it's very high tech too. I know it's very stupid to talk about this. The toilets have heating seats.
The toilet heating.
Fucking amazing.
I never used those. I didn't use the hoses either. That's stuff like
There was no
freaked me
hose.
out.
It was just you had to press a button on the toilet and it would just wash.
But
would just come out with
it
the water
appears
spray
like in your blind spot. There's no way for you to like see where it pops out. It just pops out and sprays your ass.
Yeah, but I think the toilet is very interesting. You just gotta seat yourself where it is, and then
No.
put the-
I didn't touch
yeah.
that shit. I can handle my own business. Thank you very much.
But no, I think the toilet is very. I mean, I at least appreciate the heating seat. I appreciate it because sometimes it can be really cold outside in Japan. sometimes, right? Not all the time, but at
so
the
you
point of time
went
when
in. Wait, you went in May? Isn't that hot as shit?
no, it's summer is in like mid-June, right? So it's not even summer yet. At that point of time when I went to Japan, it was like 16, 17 degrees. Yeah. And I mean, of course, some of the people may think, oh, it's normal, but I don't really have a very good body. I cannot really take like very, very cold things. So like I had to wear a jacket every time I go outside. So it's like yeah. So
What kind of hotel did you get?
It's near to Nipori Station, which is I think it's a pretty good hotel, honestly. Like it's very simple. It's a simple hotel, but I think it's a really good hotel to live in. And I don't mind living in a hotel again next year, but apparently my parents have different ideas, so we'll see how it goes.
Are they also like interested in the Papipa concert?
No. No. Straight up, they look at me or like, what is this?
But they're still coming with you to Japan.
Yeah.
That's nice.
Yeah, because fun story is I brought my parents around Akihabara the first day I went there, and the next day they told me like, if you're going Akihabara, you go alone. Don't bring us along.
Too much boobs.
Too much walking. We walked about we walked about
fair.
7-8 hours, and then my
God.
parents were getting really tired for that. And but for me, I was
bro,
like,
I'm so jealous of countries
was-
with walkable cities. You can't walk anywhere in here where I live.
No, but it was I was so hyper, 7-8 hours I was just walking around. I was like, wow, damn, look at this, man, look at that. And my parents were like, oh shit, my legs were about to give way. So it's like, yeah. So of course for me, my parents, we are just like, if I also want to like, my parents are not interested in anime kind of stuff, so I don't really want to bring them there also. But it's just their first time experience, I want to bring them to the first time experience of like looking around this kind of stuff. And since I know that they really couldn't walk anymore, then I'll just be like, I'll just
So for anyone who's like listening, like, do you have any like Japan tips? Like, what sort of places would you recommend? So we've talked a lot about Akihabara, which is the Weep Central.
Yeah.
You said like, did you say would you recommend 2 days, 3 days?
3 days. I would say 3 days, because the first day is to explore, the second day is to buy the things that you want, and the third day is to reconsider the other stuff that you've looked on, you eyed on for days, and then you think about whether you want to buy it or not.
Yeah, and it gives you time to like play the crane games, play some of the rhythm game stuff.
The thing is, I never played the crane games at all, because like I know my luck is very shit in crane games, so I've never touched it. But I played the music rhythm game. It was fun.
It was so fun. I love. What is it? It's Gigo.
No, I played
Get in the Gaming
Trinitame.
Oasis.
I don't know what's the game called already. I forgot. But it was the tapping. It's like the SIF, but it was the circular one.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was very fun though. It was very
It was
fun.
a
I'm
sick
not gonna lie.
machine, yeah.
Yeah, but it can get really tiring, just like going with your arms pop here pop, and then your arms are gonna get sore at the end of the day, because you're going crazy over the screen.
So is there any other tips you would have?
I would say always bring a bottle of water with you, because you never know how long you're gonna walk. Trust you never know. You're just gonna walk. I mean, there's vending machines, but honestly, water is the best medicine. Honestly, water is like the best thing to drink. Always water. Water is healthy. You never know what other drinks may, they have sweet and like sweetness, all the kind of stuff. So water is the healthiest.
I found a vending machine with like orange juice, where it was like freshly squeezed orange juice, which was sick.
Yeah, we had that in Singapore too. I mean, the orange juice is pretty good, but I'm not a big fan of orange juice. I would take it, but all those like sour orange juice, it's enough for me, man. So that's why I stick to water. So if you want, always bring like a bottle of water, or any water. Like it can be apple juice, whatever juice you want it to be, water, medicine water, whatever water, as long as it's just water with you. And you never know how long you're gonna walk, and always take like breaks, because Akihabara, there's no like seats around, definitely no seats, so you're gonna have to take a break somewhere in the middle. You just gotta squat down, probably go to the toilet, sit down on the toilet, but who knows, I don't know. But just find a place to rest. It
is one of the beautiful things about a walkable city. They have like parks, and you can just like sit down. Definitely,
I've never been to parks at all for the Japan part.
Yeah, definitely. Like before coming to Japan, I was worried because I don't do a lot of walking, right? But
Yeah.
magically, the ability to sit down, fantastic, love it. So I had no problem spending like 9-10 hours a day like outside, away from my phone, away from computer, just like exploring shops and stuff, because you get tired, you just sit down, and there's like plenty of food stalls in places you can just like grab some. It's great.
And Japan food is freaking good and cheap. Honestly, I think I could not stress this enough. I think most of the Japanese food is fucking amazing. Like, it's good cooking, man. Good cooking. I would eat it. Like, I got for this Japan store that I had nearby my hotel. Not Akihabara, but it's nearby my hotel. It's just like I think it was one big bowl of udon and one big bowl of chicken katsu rice for just 990 yen. Yeah, 990 yen, which was I think it's perfectly a steal, man.
Standards.
Yeah, that is a steal, bro. That is 2 meals in one, and there's a drink that come along with it. So I think that's a steal. Honestly, just take it, man. Like the food doesn't even taste like shit. It tastes so good. Like I've never every time I've been to a food court in Singapore, like I couldn't even compare the standards of the food court compared to like the Japan, because Japan the food is so good. Like wow. Like man, it blew my mind to like taste how good food is in Japan. It really is. Like I cannot even tell you a time where I find the food was shitty. Like the food was actually good. Like damn, Japanese cooks are damn amazing, man. I sound like a foodie with this, but honestly,
I see every time
stress
people
it.
talk about Japan, I see people hype up the food. Japan food
I
is
think
mid. It's very
I mean,
mid. You get what you get in Japan. It's noodles. Hey, you got noodles. Udon.
Yeah.
Don't buy udon. Udon's terrible. If you're gonna go to Japan, eat ramen.
That's true. Yeah, honestly. But I mean, to be fair, I was just hungry at that time. I couldn't wait for ramen. I'll just take a udon at any point. It came in a set, so I couldn't really ask for something else. But for me, because it was my first time going there, so I really felt that the food was amazing. Maybe if I go back there the second time, I'll feel like, oh, you know what, the food's okay.
That's
food's
not
better
how
than
it works usually. Usually it's the other way around.
Oh really? I don't know. Maybe it works for me that way. I mean, because for the first time, I think that everything's amazing.
I guess everyone's body
especially-
is different for sure.
Yeah, I think so too. But I don't know, man. We have to wait till next May before I say how the food tastes again. You know, it's just a long way. But
Yeah.
we
Try
have to
some
later.
things. We'll get a list of like foods to try.
Yeah, first thing is ramen.
Oh,
but
yeah,
I've tried
so
ramen in Japan before.
I'll say
so I
for
think-
like my tips, like I've already kind of said it, so I'll just reiterate. Like, I think Akihabara is great if you're into anime, you like the weeb stuff. Spend like at least 2-3 days in there. I think people think of Akihabara as overrated because it really is like a one-time thing. It's just stores, but it's so sick as an anime fan to explore that much anime merch and have that much stuff that's like targeted towards you, right?
Yeah.
Definitely recommend like Google Maps, and also Google Lens is great. Google Lens is an app that you download that like you can take a picture of like a sign and it'll translate it for you if the handwriting isn't too terrible. You know what I haven't mentioned yet? Get an eSIM.
Oh yeah. Oh,
How
I don't know,
did
man.
you get your Wi-Fi while you were in Japan?
I use my cellular data kind of thing. My telephone provider had this set for this, so I was able to use that instead of buying an eSIM.
Nice.
Yeah, that's why.
Yeah,
yeah.
I didn't have that option. So for people like me who are traveling to Japan, usually the choice is between getting a SIM card and getting like a pocket Wi-Fi. Oh, I didn't do an eSIM. Sorry, I got a SIM card. I got an actual SIM card at the airport, which was not the easiest thing to figure out. But once you figure out, it's very easy to switch out like the SIM card. If you know how to do it, you know how to do it, right?
Yeah.
And it was so nice because with pocket Wi-Fi, you have to charge it, and you have to like connect it to your phone, right? With a SIM card, it just is your phone. Like your phone is using a different SIM card, which in my opinion is much easier and much more handy.
Yeah, honestly.
I can
yeah,
imagine if
I
you're
would-
traveling with like a group of people, like if you're traveling with your parents, maybe pocket Wi-Fi will be more like convenient. But for me personally, like I went solo, so the SIM card was so great, so handy.
Is there any the eSIM card? Where do you buy it from though? Do you buy it from like when you reach Japan itself, or like you bought it beforehand?
So an eSIM, an electronic SIM, you can literally
Yeah.
just download on your phone. I don't know how reliable it is, which is why I didn't go for it. But I've heard good things about eSIMs. The SIM card that I used was in the airport. Like when you left the gates, right before you go to the train area, there's
Yeah.
like a place to get like your like train pass. Before
Yeah.
that area was like a bunch of like gacha machines, and before that area was like the front of the airport where they had the store to get the SIM card.
Okay. Because wait, when you get the SIM card, because this is my first time like getting SIM cards, like as in for Japan, because you know, as I said earlier, I got the M1. I mean, whatever my phone operator is, M1 is called M1, but my phone operator has a special service that allows me to use their data in a certain country as long as I pay a certain money for it. So so I never really had the necessary means to use a SIM, but I completely and definitely need to use it for my next trip in order to get my E Plus account. So like, how does the SIM work? So does it give you a phone number at the same time?
Yeah, you get a Japanese phone number.
Oh, so you just have to like insert the SIM card into your phone, and then that's all? That's pretty much it?
Yep.
Oh, okay. That's very interesting. Because I really need to go create an E Plus account to get my tickets. Or not,
Yeah, I recommend like looking into it. I mean, you know, if you're going with your parents again, like maybe look into getting a pocket Wi-Fi, but whatever makes the most sense for you, right?
Wait, so your SIM card also includes data, right?
Yeah,
Or
I
does
think
it not?
so. Mine was like unlimited for 2 weeks.
Oh shit! Yo, that would be good for me though, because I'll be going there for like 10 days, so it's more or less 2 weeks. So I really needed that. So yeah, you
I
really
same
needed
situation. Awesome.
Yeah. Okay.
So we before the podcast, you organized all of these questions. Do you want to use any of them?
Of course. But you know, this is a very good it's a very good general talk, honestly, because
I enjoyed this immensely. If we stopped here, I would not be upset.
I mean, if we have enough to talk about the general topic, or we can just go on more, honestly, because this is a podcast. I tell you, I just wanted to get to know people more. You know?
Send it. We'll do one more.
Wait, actually, I don't think there's any more. Oh, okay, we can have a small portion about gacha games.
Oh yeah.
You know? Yeah.
Oh,
you know,
I put that in. Okay.
Yeah.
Now I gotta.
So
now
we
I
have-
gotta give the freaking preamble. Why you do this, man?
It's
So
so gacha games. You know,
I wanted to talk to you about this because you and I are both very experienced gacha gamers.
Oh yeah.
Have you had an incident? Just
An
in your
incident?
history
What
of
kind of
playing
incident?
gacha, have you ever had an incident happen
What kind of incident? Like,
where you weren't planning to pull, you were planning to save, you knew there was a card coming, but then you were bored, you just hit that button, and all of a sudden you have a card you didn't want. All of a sudden you've spent like $50, $70, $100 that you didn't mean to spend.
Oh, there is so many times I can't even tell you what incident, because there's so many of them. Oh my god, I cannot begin to tell you how many of these things are there in my life that I had to spend so much for games. Like,
I didn't expect you to have more than one. You're telling me you've accidentally pulled, or you've like spent way too much money multiple times. You
Let me
didn't
tell
learn
you.
your lesson after the first one.
LoveLive All Stars was one of the biggest ones, I think. But it's just, oh my god.
Oh
that game.
no.
Oh man.
And now that service
game.
is shut down.
Yeah, that's why. That's the problem. Like, sometimes when you spend money about this kind of things, you gotta know when it's gonna shut down. So that's why for me now, I spend lesser on like in-game stuff, because I finally learned my lesson. I say, enough is
I don't
enough.
think you
If the game
have.
is gonna
If you
shut
spent
down, then all my
multiple
money's gonna
times-
go down the fucking drain with that shit.
Most
like,
people, they lose out once and they feel the horror and they're like, never again. I will never do this. You just kept on. You just kept going.
Because I'm just a sucker for these kind of things. It's always like that. It's just I cannot, like, it feels good.
we gotta
because,
get
like,
you away from the gachas, Grandpa. We gotta get you into Elden Ring.
Nah, it's okay. I think like I've spent way lesser on gacha now compared to like last time, and I'm proud of the progress I've made
That's
in
good.
this kind of thing. Yeah, because I feel now, especially since I've got to know the Seiyu's merchandise, I spend more on that, because at least that is permanent. even if the fucking production like stops, if the production stops, at least I still have a copy in my bookshelves and stuff. But if I have, like, the game dies, the game just dies, all my money in that game will just disappear. So that is something I've learned throughout the years, especially with games like LoveLive All-Stars and, believe it or not, Disney Infinity 3.0. Believe it or not.
That one got you as well?
That one got me as I didn't spend like a lot. I spent only like $5 for the Syndrome. The Disney Syndrome, the Incredible
Okay, that's
Syndrome.
not-
Yeah, because right, $5 and that's it. And then the game just died. And I was like,
so
goddamn.
you
So where's
mentioned,
my
like,
$5?
permanence. And
Yeah.
I do want to put out there, I think it's perfectly fine to spend like $10, $15 if you're getting like a good experience out of it. If it makes your playtime more enjoyable, I think that's fine. I think the thing about gacha games is they are inherently predatory, right? They are designed to make spending money very easy, and they are designed to make you want something so badly that you are happy to spend $60, $70, $100 on like a character. And
That is fair.
Is something that always needs to be called out when you're talking about these sorts of games, because like you, I only had one incident. I only had one incident where I was like, I pulled, I didn't get the character. I spent money, I pulled again, I didn't get the character. I bought the like tiniest package that was like 2 pulls for like $1. And then I pulled those 2 and I didn't get it. And I spent more and I spent more and I spent more. And then finally I got the character and I just felt so fucking ashamed.
Yeah, I know.
And-
Sometimes it really feels bad when you see like your bank account after you spend all that money, and you're like, fuck, man. You're like,
Why did I
fuck.
do this?
Yeah, why do you do this, man? Like, right? It's
And
how I
luckily,
feel too.
I have a real job that makes real money, so I have money to fuck around with. But
same.
It's like you really need to be in control of yourself.
Yeah, that's the problem. It's like you can spend, like, this is a disclaimer, you can spend how much you want on a game. Like, if it makes you happy, it makes you happy. But you gotta have a limit, or you need to know, like,
Yeah, absolutely.
that's why it's like you need to know where your limit is. You don't just spend like continuously without like knowing where your limit is or not. You really don't have like the money things at all. Yeah, you have a lot of money
So
issues.
the reason I bring all this up, by the way, there's a new gacha game that I've been playing a ton of called Infinity Nikki. Have you heard of it?
Oh, that is the Genshin Impact of Nikki.
Yeah.
I've seen that during my anime convention, the November one. They were introducing the game to us, and
Ooh, you saw
Yeah.
the beta.
I saw the beta. Yeah, I got to see how Genshin it was.
It's very Genshin.
It's very Genshin. So what? So
It's
so
very
you.
I think a better comparison is Mario Odyssey. So it's very like puzzle oriented. It's not, the combat's not that really there. So Infinity Nikki, for anyone who's like just hearing about it, it's similar to a lot of games. It's this like open world collectible. You can like craft outfits. So in Genshin, right? the way to explore the world is to cycle through different characters and use different like abilities from your characters to solve puzzles and things, right?
Yeah.
In Nikki, you only have one character and she changes outfits. So she's got like a violin outfit, she's got a fishing outfit, she's got a bug catching outfit, right?
Yeah.
And that's how you like solve puzzles, as you go through the game outfits.
Yeah.
And the gacha in this is like much worse than Genshin.
Yeah, it is. I think it is because the things need to create the costumes is like really pricey, right?
The thing about Nikki that I think is really noteworthy is that it's specifically targeting girls, which in the current gacha landscape there really isn't a game like that. Like even LoveLive is kind of like a little bit like male dominant as far as like the community goes.
Yeah. But
LoveLive has like a lot more girls than most of these gacha games, but if you're looking at the gachas, it's like Genshin, it's like Nikki, Goddess of Victory, it's like Arknights. These games are very heavy on like the male side, and Infinity Nikki is very heavy on the female side, which I just think is cool. And you can see it like reflected in the dialogue, you can see it reflected in like the tone of the game. I just thought it was neat. But I will say, it means that there's a lot of people who are playing Infinity Nikki for the first time. This is their first gacha game.
But Dias, if you said Infinity Nikki was a girl's game, why are you still playing it?
Listen, I'm secure in my gender. I know what I like.
Okay, you know what? To be fair, let's shame myself also. Okay, I've played the Nikki game too, but not the Infinity Nikki. The one the dress up was. The one that you had to the dress up one.
So the main reason I bring it up is because I am worried about people, because this is one of the more predatory gachas.
Yeah. I think so.
You have to save up a lot more, and to get a whole outfit is like a lot more work than in other games where you can kind of get lucky. You can't get lucky in Nikki because the way it works is that you have outfits, right?
Yeah.
And so one outfit can have like 6 pieces to it, right?
Yeah.
So if you pull, you're not pulling for the whole outfit, you're not pulling for a whole character, you're pulling for like parts. And it's only when you've pulled every single part that you get the full outfit. Which is so much worse than any other gacha I've played. So this game, I'm just keeping my eye on it because it's one of the worst gachas, and it's making itself available to a new audience of people who might not be as familiar with gacha games, right?
Yo, that shit is so scummy, bro. Holy shit.
Yeah. So like, for example, if I pulled right now, there's like earrings, there's the dress, there's the shoes, there's the necklace. I might end up getting the dress and the necklace, and I can wear those, right? Like you still get those items that you pulled, but the full outfit isn't complete, right? Unless you like keep pulling until you have all 6 pieces, right?
6 pieces?
Yeah. Damn. And to be clear, it's like every 20 pulls, you are guaranteed a piece.
But it can be any random, like one of the 6 random pieces.
No, there's dupe protection. There is duplicate protection.
Oh, so you have to do 120 pulls to get all 6 pieces. Am I right to say that?
Yeah, basically.
Holy shit. Holy shit. Man, that's even worse. Actually, I don't know whether that's worse, but... That's
I
actually
think
a lot, though.
LoveLive All Sorts was like similar, but the thing about All Sorts is that you can get lucky, and there was like always like, I want to say like a 4% chance to like.
But can you get lucky in like?
Can
you get lucky in like this the Infinity Nikki, like you can get the event, the gacha thing? No, you can't. Huh? You can't? So
because the outfit's in like a bunch of pieces, right? And by the way, like not all of them are in 6. I think like one of them I saw I had 8 pieces.
Wait, so let's say I put this in this event gacha, right? Let's say it's this certain set. So let's say can I in a 10 pool, can I pull one of these set the dress sets, one of these, like one of the parts of the set, or do I have to wait for the guaranteed to get it?
You have a chance of getting lucky and pulling it early.
Okay. So it's still not too bad. If it only comes down to the guarantee, then that's a fucking scummy move. That is truly scummy. But so about like let's get to know this game better.
Yeah, I guess I might have been making it out to be worse than it is.
Yeah, I
I'm
don't
just
think-
like personally like expecting
I mean, it sounds bad,
people
but
to get caught.
when you think about it, it's not too bad. Although I wouldn't say it's good. I wouldn't really say it's good. It's just not
Well,
too
like
bad.
as far as gachas goes, it's like slightly worse than other
Yeah,
than
I think
Genshin
so.
and other Hoyo games gachas.
No, but if you think about it, right? Because sometimes you could get lucky in like let's say Genshin Impact, where you know the character is 90. At max 90, you get a 5-star or you get the event character, right? But this is 120 pulls and you get everything guaranteed. So it could
Yeah,
be
that's
good
true.
and it could be bad because if you lose the Genshin, like the 50-50, then you really need 180 pulls. In that case, it would be worse than Nikki. But if you're lucky, you get it during the 90, it will be better than Nikki, which Nikki will be worse. So it's very hard to
Yeah.
say what is bad and what is good because this is also like
As
it's
I
about
think
the
it
same.
more, there is one thing about Nikki that I like, and that's the limited outfits are just like aesthetic. They're not
so,
really like powers.
So it completely does nothing to the character. It completely does absolutely nothing. You're telling me that?
Yeah, it like replaces an existing outfit. So like for example, the fairy one is like a floating outfit.
Yeah.
So you by default in the game you get a floating outfit, right?
Yeah.
But you
Okay.
can replace that outfit with the fairy outfit if you pull all the pieces.
So basically, you're telling me the outfit does absolutely nothing except aesthetics.
Yeah.
Okay, wow, that is actually horrible. Because honestly, yeah, it's built for a girl. If a girl sees it, maybe the girl will like it. But like in general, I would say if it does not prove any like game-changing things, then what's the point of pulling the thing?
Well, the
Right.
point is to play dress up, right? Like that's the
Yeah.
fun of the game.
So wow, so like I thought it would like at least give me like a 15-second more on the puzzle or something, but no, it doesn't. It just gives you an aesthetic change, and that's pretty much it. Like I
Yeah.
was expecting
Well,
like
I
you-
like that aspect of it though. I like that it's like, oh, I'm not like pressured to pull for this character because she's gonna be like meta for the next 2 patches, right?
Now that you say that, that's actually pretty true too. Because like, you know, you pulling for the costume is just solely for the costume. You're not pulling it for meta. You're not pulling it for power, and it won't get overcrapped in like the next few patches, stuff like that, right?
I've talked myself out of it. You know what? Nikkei's gacha is great. I like it.
I think Nikki Gacha is a bit more lenient because you don't have to pull for it. You don't have to pull for it. Nobody's forcing your hand.
I feel
because
like there's no way you're just pulling for one piece of the outfit though. I feel like you have to pull for the whole thing or none at all.
yeah, that's right. So basically, if you want the outfit, you probably just gotta save it up and then just pull for the outfit. So if the outfit doesn't really do anything and it's just there for aesthetics, then I think it's pretty okay because you know nobody's forcing you to spend. It's not gonna give you extra powers. It's just gonna give you a better look on your game. That's pretty much it. Like unlike like
as far
other,
as like gacha games go, it's not bad.
yeah, like
I think more so my concern isn't really like the more I talk about it, I'm like, you know what, Infinity Nikki is fine. It's the fucking gacha.
I think the gacha is fine
in
though.
general is
Yeah,
my
the gacha in
issue.
general is crazy. Yeah, but like Hoyo vs Gacha, let's say, like we were talking about it. Hoyo vs Gacha is crazy because especially Star Rail. If you have seen the Star Rail thing, wow. You know when Firefly came out, you remember Firefly?
Oh my god!
At first,
the money they made was crazy.
The weakness break team was nothing, bro. Before that, the weakness team break was as good as a dusty old shelf at the corner. But now everybody and your mom is using freaking weakness break teams. You know, weakness break team became the ultimate OP team for the game, and then now DOT team are just, you know, poof, they're just now useless as hell. So it's like, you know, the meta keeps changing in Star Rail. So it's like in this kind of game, it's also not good because it forces you to spend for the best characters ever. But for me, I put for Firefly because, you know, I like Firefly. There's no other reason to it. I didn't know she was OP at first, like because she was also Setsuna's VA, Tomoe.
Yeah.
So I wanted to pull for her too. So I was like, you know, I'm convinced because I like the character and I put for it. I didn't know she was that OP, but you know, when I pull for a game, I usually don't pull for the power or the meta as much as you guys don't like. If people don't believe me, that's fine. But I don't pull for power. I pull for the person I like. You know, like LoveLive.
Do you try to stay like free to play, or do you spend on like the daily like 90 gems or like the battle pass stuff?
It would depend on the game and the franchise. You know, if it's like LoveLive, I probably would give it a chance. I probably would. And
so how much money do you spend per month on like gacha games?
It could range from like 100 to like 400s probably. But the 400s is not like every month. It's like
that's so much.
Yeah, it's like once in a few months. You know, when there's a special event, then I would just fork out that kind of money to do it.
That's crazy. Actually.
Yeah, it's crazy. That's why my Bank Dream account is like really stacked. I have almost every I have almost every Arisa card except the collab cards.
To anyone listening to this, please be careful when you spend on gacha.
That's right. That's
so
right.
Easy to
careful,
get addicted.
Man.
Please,
you can
be
spend
mindful.
you can spend as much money as you want, but remember that it is your money at the end of the day. You need to take care of your spendings. I could do this because I have a job. I have money to earn, so that's why I could sometimes.
If this is what makes you happy, go for it.
Yeah, but don't go all out for it. You know, there has to be a limit somewhere. You know, like I don't spend 1,000 in a game at all. Like never, almost never. I've never spent like.
You spend 400 a month. That's.
No, but it is on different games. Like it's not on one certain game. It's on like different games.
Yeah.
So it's not like on a very like one game specific that I spend 400, 300 on it. And it's also not like every month I spend on it. Also, it depends on it depends on the events and stuff.
Depends
so some months I never.
Depends on like the characters, right?
Yeah, some months I never spend at all. That's the thing. So it really depends on when and what I'm pulling for. Then I would spend the money on it. So, you know,
please watch your bank account.
Yeah, I am, and as everyone is listening to this podcast, you should watch your spending account for your gacha. Gacha can be very tempting and addicting, but if you fall into it, it's a deep hole that you probably won't be able to climb out of if you're not really careful of it. And for me, I've spent less on gacha now, which is a very wonderful thing. Honestly, I think it's a load off my chest because honestly, seeing games die, after LoveLive All Stars died, that was the moment, the turning point for me. That was like shit. Because although I've never spent like $1,000 on All Stars, I spent way less than that. But still, the amount of money I spent on All Stars, for it to just shut down like that, it really hurt my bank account for real.
And it was really out of nowhere as well. It felt like shit.
And it closed down for what? It closed down for SIF2, a game that didn't even survive for a year.
Nope. Yeah, not at all.
It's so stupid. They could have just continued SIFAS. SIFAS was doing well. Why did they have to close it down like that? It's so. I don't know what they were thinking at that point of time. I really don't know what they were thinking, honestly. Like, come on. Like, oh man. It's such a wasted potential now that I think about it. Like, I've always said this. I've always been vocal about it. But SIF2 is one of the worst, shittiest game I've played. Not because it's shit, but it's disappointing as hell. Like, I was expecting SIF2 to be like the
I didn't even download it, bro. Yeah. I knew that was a train wreck.
Yeah, you know it's a horrible wreck when even the global announces the date for release and the shutdown on the same tweet, which is the craziest shit I've seen in my life. I've never seen a game company announce their game and shut their game down in a date like that. Straight up. Never seen them announce it. They are the first to do it, and that's so stupid. That's like, come on, man. You shut SIFAS, such a good 3D MV game. You shut that down
this
for
is why
this.
We gotta get back to the single player, man. We gotta get back to Minecraft. We gotta get back to Stardew Valley.
Nah, at these days I'm getting back to like I've recently played. If you don't know about this game, it's called XDefiant. But Ubisoft, being Ubisoft, decides to go shut it down. Fantastic, right?
Oh no!
XDefiant is shutting down in June next year because they couldn't afford shit no more. And I'm fucking pissed off that, man. I'm shit pissed.
Not even the single player games are safe. That's brutal.
That's why it's, man, these days games are so, and they're shutting down almost everywhere. That's why I've just resorted back to Go writing, because I won't lose money in writing, right? I just write. There's no money to lose in there.
You'll never be digital.
Yeah, it's just I'll just lose my brain cells because I couldn't think of anything more to write. That's all. That's the most thing I'll be losing.
So funny, actually.
Yeah. So, in terms of gacha, I think online gacha, I've stopped on like spending on online games anymore. The last time I spent was the Bank Dream had Arisa Kirameki Festival, but I was lucky enough to I just had to spend a bit, like less than $100, which was less than what I was expecting to spend, but I'll take it because, you know, it was really good. I got the cut within a few pools. That was what I wanted, so I think that was good. And then after that, now I'm thinking of not spending any more money on like Bank Dream and any other mobile games. Maybe Star Rail for the 30 days 90 gems kind of thing. Other than that, no more for spending in games anymore, because now I prefer to spend it in merchandise, because merchandise I feel is more worth it. It took me a really long way to get from like gacha to merchandise, but you know what, I finally got to the stage.
This is just like part of the industry now, and it's disappointing, but if you want to enjoy like these kinds of games, just be smart about it and you'll be fine.
Yeah, that's what I feel too, honestly. Just play the game F2P. I think these days games really just come up with like very shitty deals to come with pay. Not like last time. Last time the gacha was actually pretty tempting, but now these days the gacha are just like shit, honestly. I'm not gonna lie to you. The gacha doesn't even tempt me anymore at this point.
You're saying it's shit, but you're spending over $100.
But that was last time. Now it's now.
That was last time?
Yeah.
Nowadays you're good?
Yeah, nowadays I'm pretty
down.
good.
You're not gonna go to Vegas and spend all your money?
Nah, I still need to save money for the Budokan.
You're gonna be one of those
trip.
old men in like the gas station, like slinging away on the slots machine, dude. You're gonna be like just sitting in your own shit.
Yeah.
Ding 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 ding.
Yeah, honestly, yeah. But I don't think I'll be playing slot machines either. I don't like slot machines at all because I know they're completely random. You won't get anything from them, right?
That's
so
good. That's good. Don't go to a slot machine.
I'm just doing a bit of like Kuji these days, but even the Kujis are lowered down because I think Kuji took up a lot of my money too. So honestly, I'm lowering all the cost of like stuff that I buy at these days. Yeah, Kuji is also very addictive in some way because it's a gacha, but at least you get something out of it, and it's with you.
How are you falling in every single one of these gambling holes?
I don't know, man. But it's just how it is, you know. It's just how it is.
What is Kuji?
Do you know what's not? Do you not know what's Ichiban Kuji?
No.
Okay, so basically, right, it is Ichiban Kuji is for anime stuff. So let's say, there is a full board.
To be clear, also, like I'm not gonna be gambling, and I don't like gambling, so
yeah,
it doesn't really matter to me.
It's okay, but I'll just explain it because I think some people also don't know what Ichiban Kuji is. Ichiban Kuji is more of like, you know, there's this it's a box of tickets, and then there is a list of prizes you can get. So let's say prize A is, you know, in LoveLive terms, because there's a LoveLive Ichiban Kuji also. So let's say LoveLive, there is like, you know, prize A is a figure, prize B is a tower, prize C is something else, and then prize D is and then there's all the way up to like maybe G, H or I somewhere there. And then of course the higher prizes has lower quantity. So let's say I can only get 2 A's or 2 B's, you know, something like that. And then I can get like 20 H or 20 I's.
But the lower ones, you still get something, right?
Yeah, correct. So in a total of each Ichiban Kuji, there's 80 tickets. So to get a prize A or prize B, you need to be very lucky because there's only 2 in the 80 tickets. Or sometimes only even 1. So you have to be like really, really lucky to get it. So that's how they really suck you in. You think that,
I see how that could be fun. But obviously, all of the pitfalls of gambling.
Correct.
I think,
yeah. No. What did you say?
I don't want to keep going on this topic. I feel like we've said all we need to say.
No, I mean it's fine because at the end of the day, it's just a learning process. At the end of the day, you need to suffer before you know what is making you suffer. Like, you know, I don't know how to explain this, but you need to learn before you know that it's wrong for you, that it's really bad for you. That's what I feel. I need to experience something at least once in my life before I really feel the pain.
Not everyone needs to experience something.
No.
I feel like if you experienced it once, that's got to be your stopping point. You get it out of your system. You're like, oh shit,
I think for me,
regret.
For me, it's just
I'm not
like
gonna waste more money on Poppy Pub. I'm gonna buy like the Poppy Pub merch and try to actually get something concrete.
For me it's just like I need to
commission some fan fiction.
I need to go through the motion of the experience before I, see if I really regret to do this or I don't regret to do this. You've already gone through
the motion. You don't need to go through more of the motion.
Nah, it's fine. I think everybody works differently. I just work in a different way. For me, my mindset is just, if I really one day just don't like the experience, I'll just cut it off straight away like that. But other than that, it's just more like, going through the motion, seeing whether it will stop one day. And then if it stops, it just stops, That's pretty much it. So like the gacha thing, there's this the SIFAS shutting down. That was the big turning point for me. So the Kuji was also a big turning point for me. It was just basically, because I got sick and tired of it, so I just stopped. That's pretty much it.
Good.
Yeah.
Please, for your own mental health, stay stopped.
Yeah. I will stop.
You can spend money, but spend money on things that are like good experiences, right? Try to get something of value where you're not getting dragged into a black hole. Right?
That's right. I think I will really take more lessons on like not to like gamble on this kind of stuff anymore. I'm slowly learning though. I am slowly learning to like let go of all of this. So I think it's pretty good for me already because like it's been a long progress. It's been a long way, but I finally got to a place where I realized that gacha is not really the thing that's really making me happy anymore. The gacha is not really a thing that is really guaranteed anymore. It's more like the real life stuff that is like really like opening my eyes and making me more happy than I am. So it's just like, I'm gonna like, stop on gacha for a good long time from now. So, I'm already stopping most of it. In fact, if I'm really like lazy to just top up on Star Rail for the 30 days thing, then I'll just don't even top up anymore, because these days I don't even play Star Rail anymore, because like I feel I'm just starting to get bored of games at this point.
Oh man, this man gotcha'd so hard he stopped gaming.
It's like to a point where you really feel like, wow, it's just the same thing I'm doing like every day, but there's no rewards that makes me really happy anymore compared to like last time. That's pretty much it. Because my spending intention at that point of time was to just get stronger in the game, and now I'm pretty okay. I could clear most of the content, so I'm like, damn. So this is like where I stop, because every time a new content comes out, I'm able to like clear it within like days. So it's just that kind of feeling where you got nothing to do now. There's no challenge. There's not much of a thing to do. So
because that's when they release the next character that you're gonna spend $100 for.
I don't think they're gonna release any characters that I'm gonna spend much for anymore, because honestly, I think my team is pretty good enough for most of the content. Star Rail don't change the meta like drastically until like the Firefly session. So honestly,
I was gonna say they definitely do. It's power creep, dude. It's like a fundamental part of like any like online game.
But honestly, I really think that I don't think I would pull much anymore compared to like last time, where I would actually vigorously try to do it. But now I'm just a chill person. Now I just want to enjoy the real life stuff compared to what is in the game, because I have Budokan to look forward to. So that is the main that's the main thing I want to look forward to. Yeah,
Poppy Pie's got like a lot of good songs as well.
Yeah, I like Poppy Pie. So I wanted to.
I do too. Of the Bang Green bands, they are my favorite.
Yeah, that's why. So for me to go to that concert, I think that will be a really good experience for me, and that's not something I'm looking forward to. So that's why I'm saving money, so that I could go there and I could enjoy myself there. Because I could buy merch at the concert also. So I'm planning to do that and enjoy myself there while I'm at there. So now all the money will be saved towards the Japan trip instead of my games, which I feel I think it's a pretty good thing, honestly, because physical things now are way much better to me. It took me a long time to realize this, but I think it's a really long life lesson, but I feel, it's not too late to learn about something at this at this time, for me lah, for me.
Cool.
Yeah,
Okay.
okay. Wow, 1 hour 44 minutes. Alright. Okay, we'll get to the questions now. It's been a very long
We're gonna
one.
rapid fire these.
We don't need to rapid fire, honestly. You can just take your time to answer the questions. I don't mind. We can make it a very long podcast. I actually, as I said, don't need to feel the need to rush, because we are just communicating with each other. It's a podcast. It's not a 2 hour fire short podcast. Just any
Well, I mean,
duration.
if you're, I do love a good long session, but there should be a time limit.
I mean, it's fine. It's up to you. It's all good. I'm.
Do you have like an editor like editing this down, or
Me? I am the one editing this.
you're the
So that's
one?
why-
Oh no,
So that's why
he's too
I'm
busy on the gotchas. He's not gonna have time for this.
no more, man. No more gacha. No more gacha.
All
Okay.
right, no more gotcha talk.
All right. So here are some of the questions. So this is the second section. Finally, we get to the questions talk. So I have questions for Dias, and Dias has questions for me. Although it's not much, but okay. I'll ask Dias questions first, since I have a lot more.
I think I asked all of my questions.
Oh, you did, right? Yeah, I think you did. Yeah. Okay. So this is
I
just
slipped
my
them
questions
in
to
there
you.
when you weren't paying attention.
Yeah. Never mind. It's okay. I'll just ask
It
you
was
the
good. It was
question.
good that you had me like write them down, because I mentioned them, just because they were just things that I was interested in, things about gotcha, things about Japan.
Yeah,
It's
it's
good.
okay. Yeah. It was all good. So, I have 10 questions for you, right? So, the first question I have is, what is one underrated anime you recommend to watch?
Oh, underrated anime.
Underrated, yeah.
Underrated. Ugh. The anime. Here's the thing.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have a lot of underrated anime I watch, because the anime I watch is usually shit.
Oh my god.
I watch a lot of like isekai. I watched LoveLive. I watched like Bofuri. I watched like Freerin is not underrated. Everyone knows it's good. It's fantastic. Everyone
Mhm.
should watch it.
Okay.
Yeah, I guess like I wouldn't say it's underrated. But probably my favorite anime of all time is Isekai Shokudo, which is Restaurant to Another World. There's two of them.
Okay, yeah. I know.
The one that I like is the demon girl one. She's the blonde one. But there's another one with a very similar title that's like more of the traditional Japanese like look with like the headband. Both of them are very good, but they're both about like a man runs a restaurant in the real world,
Mhm.
and it just so happens to sometimes be in a fantasy medievally kind of world, and that's fun, and I enjoy that gimmick a lot.
Okay, yeah. I've heard of that anime before, but yeah, never really heard good reviews. This is the first time I heard a good review from someone who watched the anime.
They're very chill. I like the slice of life shows.
I like the theme song. I think it was a theme song. I think it's the second season theme song. It was sang by Kiyono.
Yeah, that one's good.
Kiyono Yasuno. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Onaji Kimochi.
Onaji. I forget what it is.
Never mind, it's okay. You
But
can listen
I
to it
know
later.
what you're
Yeah.
talking about.
Yeah. Okay. So the second question is, what is a country you love traveling to and why?
See, the only answer is Japan. 'cause
Oh,
that's
so
the
you only
only
been to Japan
country
before,
I've
right?
traveled.
Yeah.
I go to Canada quite often for like family. It's not really something I can recommend to other people, but
Okay.
it's good.
All right. So we already talked about this Japan thing. So we already know why you love it anyway. So, okay, let's move on to the third question. So, of course, I assume that Dia is still your favorite LoveLive girl. So, is there any other
Ye-
character that would take over her position if she doesn't exist?
If she didn't exist,
Like in the LoveLive franchise, I mean, just the LoveLive franchise.
I
alone.
think
Yeah.
initially either I think Hanamaru was my favorite. I've always liked the bookworm characters. Like My Little Pony Twilight
Yeah.
is my favorite.
Oh.
It's probably Hanamaru.
Okay. So as an addition to the question, do you like any more characters other than like more than Dia? So why or why not? Or do you
Well, I
think
like
Dia's...
all the characters. That's not.
So you don't have like a higher rating, right? Like it's just all equal. Is it?
Like, are there characters that I like more than Dia?
Yeah.
Probably. I think like with these kind of lists, though, I think it's easy to fall into the trap of like, okay, but who's your favorite? You don't have to pick one favorite, right? We're so much in the waifu culture and in the best girl culture that we trap ourselves.
Yeah.
And there's no need for that. I'll
Okay.
say like I really like Freerin as a character. As a fellow autist, I relate to her a lot. It's good.
Okay. So the next question is, I really don't know if you played all three main LoveLive games, which is SIF, SIFAS, and SIF2. But I know you didn't play SIF2 now, so between the two of them, which is your
I
favorite
played
and
the
why?
other two. Yeah.
Yeah, which is your
Yeah.
favorite from the two and why?
I have really good memories of SIF. All Stars was fun. The crossover events and the storytelling was great, but I just ran out of energy for rhythm games around that time. And like, to be honest with you, what really dulled my opinion of All Stars was just playing Project Sekai.
Yeah.
And Project Sekai, in my opinion, is like of the rhythm games that I've played, probably Project Sekai is the best one.
Oh, not Bang Dream.
I love Bang Dream, but I don't care for Bang Dream's story a lot of time, especially with all of the newer bands.
Yeah.
The newer bands are okay, but to me, like the best stories were pretty early on in the cycle, I'd say.
Okay.
Mind you, I haven't. I know a lot of people are really into Maigo with Anon and Tomori.
Yeah.
Tomori, I've gotten a lot of art from because she's also autistic.
Shit.
I'm just collecting the autistic characters. But I haven't watched that one, so I don't know how good their story is.
I think Maigo is a pretty good anime. It's coming from like everyone. I'm sure you've heard of it. I think Maigo is like
I've
one
heard
of
a
the...
lot of people have told me it's very good.
It's freaking fantastic for a Bang Dream story because, you know, you will never expect what's coming. Trust, you will never expect. So you should just go watch it. I think it's a pretty good one.
Okay.
Really, yeah. It's gonna be like the backlog of your to watch anime list, but you're gonna watch it one day, and you're gonna realize, wow, this is actually really good. Like really, really good. Because I find it really, really good, and I liked it. And the two seiyus I mentioned earlier that I met in the anime convention, those were from Maigo too. So yeah,
Yeah.
that's pretty much it. So the fifth question here is, we are writers and we have been in a writing podcast for about 3 years, right? So for writing, like who inspired you to start writing, or what inspired you to start writing, and what is your first work?
Right. So I've definitely mentioned this story before. So I started writing when I was like 14 years old on fanfiction.net.
Yeah.
And that was mostly Pokemon and Sonic fanfiction and like Kingdom Hearts fanfiction. The story that I would say most got me into writing was this one. It's a Pokemon, I don't know what you would call them. We used to say they were like mystery dungeon style fics, but it's like in that sort of isekai genre of like, oh, person gets turned into a Pokemon, right?
Yeah.
These sort of fics are very popular and they're a lot of fun, and I still enjoy them from time to time. But this one is called Rotten Luck. It was started in 2007 by a guy named Sebastian, Cevaztyen. And yeah, it never got finished. And that
of course.
was deeply upsetting. The dude went to college and just stopped writing.
Fair enough. College is a hard place.
But it was cute, and it was a good story, and it engaged in a lot of that like slice of life shenanigans. This is what's great about fan fiction. Slice of life is not really a genre in the mainstream anime at that point in time, right?
Yeah.
Like in Naruto and Bleach and One Piece and Dragon Ball, you had moments of slice of life, but they weren't really like that long. And a lot of times the slice of life moments would immediately be followed by explosions and murder and tragedy and all this stuff, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, like I think that's really what made me like fan fiction so much, was the vibe was just so much more relaxed, and there was less of an intensity on like, hey, how do we tell like good stories, and more of an interest in like, let's just have fun, right?
Yeah. Honestly. So what's your first work ever? Like ever?
Ooh, I can look this up. Hold on.
While you're looking it up, tell me if you're proud of it.
I could not tell you if I'm proud of it because I don't remember.
But do you like remember when you like write it, or
I can't log into my account. Damn.
then you
That's
should just search your account like on public domain, like just go to the website, just
Yeah,
search
but
your
I forgot
account.
what my name was. It was Nujum something. It was Nujum.
Does he have the key at the back?
Nujumkh. Okay, the first story that I ever published was Kingdom Hearts: A Mix of Keys. Jake is a kid who's always been one step ahead of most kids his age, but lately things have been getting ahead of him, and now something odd drags Jake into multiple worlds, starting with one key. Da da da.
Damn. Wow, nice
no,
description.
I remember this. This is fucking garbage. Please
No
don't
worries,
read this.
man. It's okay.
But this was like a lot of fun to like work on. Like I remember like writing outlines and outlines and outlines and like thinking really deep about like this, like in my head, this humongous like 300 billion chapter story that just went sprawling forever and ever, and it was a lot of fun to think about. But my writing skills were not good, and in fact still are not that good. So it is what it is. I've never written to be good. I've written to have fun, and this story is in that spirit.
Well, I mean, at least you had fun in writing it, so that's all that matters, because you enjoy writing it, means it's pretty good. It doesn't have to matter whether it's like really professionally written or something. Like my first work is also not professionally written at all. It's just a mumbo jumbo of fuck. It's a Five Nights at Freddy's fanfic. Like, who the fuck wants to even like?
Oh no.
Yeah, you hear that and you feel like, wow, what a fucking shitty ass fic, right?
I definitely feel like, as big as the Five Nights at Freddy's fandom is, I would rather be a Kingdom Hearts guy.
That's right. So that's why, like, everybody's first work may be shit, but at least it's more of the memories of writing it, because I remember writing it and I remember enjoying like writing like writing it. But then I know when I read it back now, I feel like, wow, yeah, this is just ass. This is just like, wow. Like I wish I could have just throw that away, but I'll just leave it on the internet just for people to see. So it's also good for me to look at my progress back then and now, how it is. So, speaking of enjoying of writing, what is your favorite aspect of writing? And do you have a memorable experience or a favorite experience of when you write?
I don't know. To be honest, like, the best part of writing is kind of like, there's always like a scene in my head, right?
Mm-hmm.
And if you get it like good, or if it turns out, sometimes like the weird thing is sometimes a scene won't be that good in your head, and then you write it and it turns out to be way better than you thought, and you're like, shit, how did I do that?
Oh, I relate to that a lot. Yeah.
I think those are probably my favorite moments, when it's like you look back and you're like, actually, this is kind of hitting. This kind of works. But I wouldn't say that's my favorite aspect of writing. Those are some of my favorite stories, though, to like reflect on and be like, oh yeah, this was like not bad. This was cool. I'm glad, like, because sometimes you get like comments from like older fics.
Yeah.
And you're like, damn, what was I thinking when I wrote this? Oh shit, this is a fun idea. I think the creativity will always be the best part of it, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's always interesting because we were talking earlier about money.
Yeah.
Like, money really is like the death of creativity. And doing something for no money is really like, it gives you the most freedom as an author to do what you want.
That's true, because you're not forced to come up with a deadline and stuff, which is pretty fantastic, to be honest, to come up with like a creative plan and explore your ideas a bit more compared to when you're rushing for time.
Yeah.
Alright, so the next question is, what is your favorite work that you've made? And then do you have any favorite tropes or any works in progress?
Yeah, I remember reading this, and I don't have any like singular work in mind. I think like this is gonna have to be one of those like all of my children are great situations where it's like, I'll say in general, I'm happier with my safe for work stories than I am with my not safe for work stories, because I think some of them are like I had one that was like just a conversation between Yo and Chika.
Yeah.
That was just like a real heart-to-heart that we didn't get much of in the show. Stuff like that really hits, where it's like I'll look back on it and I'll be like, yeah, I did a good thing with this. Like, this was a good idea.
I agree. I think that's a pretty good thing to think about also.
And favorite tropes, fluff. I said it before, I like fluff.
Fluff is good. Do you have any works in progress though? Are you working on anything in the current time?
So, okay, I'm gonna answer your question with the question, good sir. How do you feel about talking about your work in progresses?
I mean, I don't mind to talk about it, but I won't spoil too much of it. Like, I would just say,
so this is my problem with it. If I talk about it mentally, then my idea is out there in the world, and I don't need to write it anymore.
That's fair. But I mean, yeah, for me, I would just say it like in a very general way. I wouldn't say like the plot points and stuff. I would just say in a very like general way. Like, let's say if I want to spoil Soldier Game, like I want to say Soldier Game is in a work in progress, I would just say, I'm writing a LoveLive action fic. There's a
you would go scene. That vague with it. I'd be a little more specific.
I'll be very vague.
Definitely,
because
there have been times though where I've like mentioned stories that I'm thinking about.
Yeah.
And like when you talk about it, like you would expect it to be like, oh, I'm gonna talk about this idea that I have, and that would get me more excited to write it. But in my experience, like talking about it is kind of like you let the steam out almost. And so I think it's best to, I'll be like, yeah, I'm working on like a gigantus fic, right?
Yes.
I think that's like as much as I could share without letting it get to like the level where I'm like just not excited to write it anymore.
That's true, because like for me, right? Like, because for you're just when you're like, if let's say if you're gonna tease a work in progress, you like completely haven't read like a part of it, right? You just wrote like a bit and that's all, right? But for me, for me, when I tease this thing or whenever I say a work in progress, I've already worked on it like halfway through.
Yeah.
So I'm already like motivated to work on it more. I'm just gonna
my stories are very much like 2 sessions and I'm done kind of a situation.
Yeah, because yours is just like, let's say you want a short fic, right? For me, I prefer to write like long fics. That's why when I work like halfway, then I'll be able to tell you what is.
And also you use like a lot more beta readers than I do. I only really show my work when it's finished. You have like work in progresses and things like that you're actually like talking to with other writers, which is
no, I'm only talking to
smart
lead
if you want to write
for my
stories.
proof, right? I'm only talking to lead for my proof reading. That's pretty much it. There's no other beta readers at all. I mean, there is, but there's only like one more. That's my friend. That's pretty much it. And then
and like I think that's the way to. I think like having, so like anyone who wants to write, I think like this is the next question. I'm stealing it from you. Advice that I would give to like a fellow writer, I think don't be afraid to show people your work in progresses when they're not complete, right? Because I think like if an idea has legs, then it can be useful to like get another person's like idea on the story, right?
Yeah, of course. It depends. Yeah, you can just get like different people's opinions on like your plots, like those beta readers, and then you're like, okay, how is this or how is that? You think, is it any weird? Can I change any part? You can give them like credits at the end for helping you with the story. But showing your work in progress to other people is also a really good way to see whether readers will like really think that it makes sense or it's enjoyable to read, compared to if you just do it yourself like that and then expect the unexpected kind of thing. It's it's better to get opinions on stuff than to just wing it on your own. I mean, it's not wrong to wing it on your own. Nobody says like it's a need to have a beta reader, but I feel it's
a good help.
Yeah, it's
right. And it can also be like a motivating thing, I think, depending on everyone's different, right? But I think for most people, it is like a motivating thing to be like, to get some feedback from someone, because then you're like, well, now I have to finish it.
For me, it's just I feel like if I have feedback, then I will know how to improve myself more, and it will be better. So it's always good for me to have like feedback and proofreaders, which is why I got lit as a proofreader for my LoveLive fics, because it's good to have someone's opinion, and at the same time sometimes my grammar, my vocab can be a little bit limited, and someone's input on it could be better. So sometimes I took advice from other people. So some aspects in Soldier Game, the first one, some of them are actually Lead's ideas on it. It's just I wouldn't let nobody knows which one is it, and to be honest, I cannot remember which one is it, because there's 42 chapters. I can't remember which one is it, but still, like not all of the ideas are. Most of the ideas are, like I would say 95% of it are from me, and 5% are suggestions from Lead, and that's pretty much like how the thing goes. So it looks better at that way. So yeah, if you want to start out as writing, I think getting a beta reader would be a really good advice. It would be really good for starting writers, or any other writers at any other stage. So I just want to ask you also, how do you come up with a work? So let's say you want to come up with a fic, you want to publish something. How do you come up with this fic? Let's say planning, story rise, and all the character things.
I've talked about this before, where I feel like people really overrate the idea landscape.
Yeah.
A lot of people are like, they're looking at like engineering, and they're like, oh, if I just have that $1 million idea, then I'll be able to get rich and all my problems will be solved. I think when you get down to it, like in the field of creative works, whether it be games, YouTube, writing, ideas are cheap, right? If you just sit down and you really try, you can probably put out like 2 or 3 good ideas. Even if you don't write at all, you probably like come across an idea that you're like, oh, that would be a cool story. Just like, it's just a very natural part of like humans to want to be social and talk to one another, right?
Yeah.
Completing that work, going from it's an idea, for me, usually I just write like on my phone. I'll like I'll open a Google Doc and I'll write like a general outline, or like a first paragraph, or like a last paragraph that I'm thinking about. It's that motivation versus discipline thing, right? Of like you start off with motivation.
Yeah.
And then you need to actually sit down and have the discipline to like wrap it up, right?
Correct.
And that's how like it's like once you get the inspiration out there, then at a later date, if I'll have the discipline to sit down and actually write and actually like drill this work out and put it out, right?
Yeah. I think the hardest part of writing is the writing itself, not the planning, not the characterization. Or it's just the writing, right? I don't know, but that's what I feel, because I can come up with all sorts of ideas. I can come up with all sorts of like character building, world building, but when I come to sit down and actually start typing out the words,
it's absolutely a skill to do something that's a little bit boring and a little bit grindy. And again, it's like that's not just writing, it's any field. If you want to do like something, the more you do it, the easier it feels, right?
That's right. Yeah, that's right. But I mean, for me, I guess I just write, and then when I finish writing, I'll feel the proud. I feel quite proud for finishing the thing, and I'll read it. I'll be like, wow, actually, writing is not too bad.
Would you say like, do you also do that sort of like start with motivation, end with discipline kind of thing that I was talking about, or is yours different?
I think mine is just more like, I come up with ideas, and usually I come up with like very very lot of ideas. Like there's like maybe for, let's say, soldier game, I come up with like 4 or 5 ideas. I'll probably take one of those ideas and expand it. It depends on which one I can expand on, and then create the characters and stuff. And then for me is, I will come up with the main parts first, and then after that I'll just the rest of the subplots in between, I'll come up with them on the spot as I write. But it also comes down to discipline, because you need to have the discipline to finish it, right? It's not just like the idea is there means the idea is there. It's not gonna come up by itself, right? Someone has to sit down and write it, and that have to be me, because I'm the one writing it. So there is some sort of discipline, and if you don't really have the discipline to write, then the idea will probably never come out, or will never come to fruition at all. So it really also depends on, as you said, your motivation and the discipline. So it's about the same. It's just the planning process is a bit different, but it's more or less the same values at the start and at the end.
Yeah, it's we say it all the time, right? Like everyone's different, but do whatever like works for you, right?
Correct. Honestly, at the end of the day, don't like every writer is different.
I'll also put out there, right? If you like are working on a story and you have no motivation to finish that story, I would say that's like almost a sign. Like that can be a thing of like, oh, you lack the hard-boiled nature of writing. But it can also be like a good opportunity to be like, okay, well, what am I interested in? Right? Yeah. Find that like motivation and bring that out and be like, hey, what makes me engage with this hobby that I like? Right. And if it's nothing, maybe you should find another hobby.
I mean, for me, it's different. It could be like a writer could have less motivation to write, like because of what you said. Maybe they're really not interested in writing. But sometimes the motivation comes from the idea that cannot be expanded at all. That's why you don't really have the motivation to come up with this kind of thing and continue the idea. So my advice for fellow writers is basically, if you do not have motivation, that is one of two things. It's either you drop the idea, or you wait for another day. But I think wait for a few days is good first, because you might not have the motivation to write, because writing can be a very tedious process. I get that. I have that shit all the time. I don't feel like writing all the time because it's so tedious. But if you have no motivation and you force yourself to write, I think it will never be the best quality that you will come up with. It will be usually very half-hearted, because you're not motivated at all to do anything. So it will never come out the way that you want it. So if you want to write, have the motivation to write. Make sure you have the drive to write it, and make sure that you're not forcing yourself to sit down and type it all out, or not. It wouldn't be as good as you might think it would be. That's what I would feel, because I have this certain like experiences before where I forced myself to write, especially during the first time I wrote my LoveLive fic. I think some parts were really bad, honestly, and that's why I went to re-edit it. Like this year, I went to re-edit the whole 31 chapters of it, just because like at that point of time, I know some parts of the story were really like illogical, because I wasn't having any motivation when I was writing. I was just writing to go with the schedule, because at that point of time, my first LoveLive fic, I was posting at every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. So imagine the rush I had to get out just to post one chapter out. So I had to be ahead. So that's why I had to force myself to write, which was really, some of the ideas didn't really work out. So now that I've re-edited it, I think it feels way much more smoother, better, and I think a lot of people will have a better time reading it compared to if I rush it like that. So rushing is definitely...
and that's something that's definitely very impressive. I think a lot of us would wish we had the energy to go back and completely rebuild our stories, right?
Yeah, that's why I really did that, because I really like my first LoveLive fic, and I really had the motivation to really want to re-edit it. So I just went back to re-edit it, So like my main point of this is just, if you have no motivation, just don't force yourself to write. It won't be the best quality you came out with. That's pretty much it, you know.
Cool.
Yeah, that's mine. Yeah. So, on to the next question, Dias. What is your favorite genre of music? Because I like to listen to music, and everybody has a different variety of music that they like. Because from all the guests that I've interviewed so far, they all have different tastes. So it's like, it's really interesting to see like the different amount of music that could be like, you know, recommended to people and to me.
You're really building me up here. Hold on there, Bucko.
Yeah,
I don't listen to that much music. I listen to like, if like a VTuber like writes a song, I'll listen to that. Like sometimes I'll listen to like TikTok songs, like songs that are often in TikTok. I'll like find the full song. I know like a lot of my music is like piano kind of music.
Okay. So so there's no like favorite genre. There's like no definite genre of music that you would like.
Especially. Oh, did you listen to you know J Schlatt?
J Slat has a music? Huh?
He has a Christmas album.
Huh? Since when? What? I didn't know that. Well, I think I've seen it before.
Yeah, hold on, I'll send it to you.
I think I'll probably listen to it.
So I've been playing that a lot last few days. It's unironically very good. As an atheist, I'm vibing to the Christmas music.
So I assume, okay, so what is your album of all time? Do you like listen to full albums or anything?
I don't really listen to albums. Like,
so
I guess like
songs, right?
There's like soundtracks. I like Mario Galaxy's soundtrack. I go to a lot.
That considered as an album. Yep.
Splatoon has a great soundtrack. I'd say.
Okay. So you like all those game music instead, right? The game music are
more... I used to listen to a lot of like game remix music. So there was like this one like Eevee themed like Pokemon set. Yeah. That was really good. But those can be like pretty hit or miss. I don't know if I would recommend listening to remix music a lot.
When I think of like game music, I only can think of like one song, and it's called the Tetris theme. Yeah, the Tetris theme is really nice, I think, for me, myself. Yeah, that's pretty much. Do you have any song recommendations that you would like recommend to me or like any other people listening to this?
I mean, I guess I've already done so.
Okay, yeah, that's fair enough. The J Slat album, the whole Christmas thing, yeah. Okay, J Slat, guys.
J Slat, and I'll say, trying to think. Because, like, so Mario Galaxy's got a great soundtrack, but also Pokemon had this, like, special, I want to say it was like a 25 anniversary or a 50 anniversary special of, like, this like song called Acacia. So there's a band, Bump of Chicken, that I really like. They've written quite a few good songs, and they did this one. The song is Acacia, and it's just got the most gorgeous animation. It goes by really quickly. You gotta like freaking pause to like get the whole thing. But if you're a Pokemon fan, I think that's also like quite a good one.
Okay. I can listen to it later. Trust, I will listen to it later, and I'll see how it goes with the music. Alright, so here's our last question for the day. What goal do you set to accomplish in the next 5 years?
Yeah, I think same goals that everyone has. You know, work out more, get more buff, lose some weight, get the girl, get married, have kids. I know like a lot of people like have stopped wanting kids. I think I would still want, if I could find, it depends on the partner, right?
Yeah.
I would want a good partner before I would have kids, right? But you know, that's the sort of thing you get. I would say more short term. Like I want to do more like D&D stuff. I love being a DM. I would love to build up more of that energy of like being more zany and having more fun with like NPCs and acting and improv type stuff, right? And I think D&D encompasses a lot of the energy. Also, I'd love to learn Japanese. That's something I've been like slowly working away at. So that'd be fun.
Yeah.
I don't know if you see, but in the server, you can see we have like a Japanese channel. And every once in a while, I'll post like some fucking bullshit in Japanese. It's just like there's a bunch of shit in Japanese kanji that pisses me off, dude, and it's so annoying.
Okay, yeah, I have to agree on that. But for me, I think it's easier for me to read kanji because the Chinese characters, most of them are the same with the kanji. So
if Chinese is your second language, I imagine that helps a lot.
That helps a lot, although I can't speak it, but I understand. Most of it, cool. So it's all pretty good. So yeah, I mean, of course,
I think like I think for anyone, right? Like thinking about 5 years, it's like weirdly too much time, right? I think there's a lot of things that I can do in the next 2-3 months, and that's really where my headspace is at. Is like there's stuff that I want to do that I think could be fun, that I want to like. It's like if it's like D&D, if it's like learning Japanese, if it's like hey, I want to take a trip to Japan in May, right? Like I think that's where your attention should be rather than eventually I want to have kids. But I feel like that's not really, it's not bad to think about, but
no, I just for me, right, I just think that 5 years is how do I say? Now I was just searching motivational questions to ask guests in podcasts, and then this thing came out, and it was like 10 years or something. But then I switched it down to 5 years because I think in 5 years you probably would see yourself in a very different light. So I feel that if you really like let's say we say these kind of things here, the 5 years thing, then we come back to look at it, and then we'll be like, wow, so 5 years ago I actually said this thing, so did I actually achieve it? That's the kind of thing I was going for, instead of like thinking
how about this
actual
I think like here's what you should ask people is you should ask them fuck, I'm trying to think how to phrase this. It's like less about time and just more about goals, right?
So just take away the time period thing.
Oh, okay, I see. What goal do you set yourself to accomplish in the next 5 years? Yeah, just cut off the end. What goal? What's the next goal? What's the next challenge for you? Right?
Yeah, I don't know, man. I
think for me, I really want to get better at like studying languages and like knowing more languages and just engaging in other cultures, right? I think it's really cool to do that sort of thing.
Yeah, so that's why. I mean, the 5 years thing is just an extra thing, but honestly, I think it just kind of fits the question, so that's why I just put it there instead. The 5 years doesn't really mean much, but I mean, you could look back at it in 5 years' time and see, I really accomplished this goal. The stuff for me, if I were to look back at it like 5 years later, and if I were to really accomplish this goal, I think I would really feel like more proud of it instead of like having no certain time period. These 5 years.
Yeah, I know some people are really like. I was watching this podcast with, do you know Dr. Mike on YouTube?
Yeah, correct, yeah.
He interviewed this girl with, I think it's like, so is it cerebral palsy? I forget what it is. But she has like a disability that's quite limits her ability to move, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And she talked about like climbing mountains and things like this, right?
Correct.
And for her, that's like what success means, right? Is conquering this disability and achieving things in her life. For me, I'm like, I don't have any disability. Like I have my autism, right?
Yeah.
But like I don't have anything that's like so bad, right? And so I think success for me doesn't mean that I have to achieve like big things. It's more about finding space and finding community and finding people that I enjoy, like, and like being able to play D&D consistently and being able to do the things that I enjoy and not, just not being depressed, right?
yeah, of course, for sure.
Yeah, and it looks different for everyone, but I think like the sort of goal of like, oh, I'm gonna climb Mount Everest, I don't think that's like worth dedicating your life for.
Yeah, I mean, it depends on different people, I guess, but maybe for us, it's not.
Yeah, for sure. There's definitely a selection bias.
Yeah, that's
If you're
right.
like, oh, I'm going to interview the writing community, how many writers are mountain climbers?
Yeah, no. I mean, for me, I just want to learn more languages, especially Japanese, because I think Japan is like one of my
True.
favorite countries, right? So I want to
Pop
be,
into the Japanese channel, dude.
yeah. To be honest, I don't really go to a lot of servers these days. I'm just stuck in the Popipa server, and that's pretty much it. Honestly, I just
Understandable.
yeah, that's why I'm not really like active on Discord other than the Popipa channel, the Popipa server. So I mean, because we are all discussing about Popipa stuff, and that's something that I truly like to. And Japanese is
Hell
like
yeah. I love that.
you know, yeah, I love like speaking in Japanese also, but I'm taking it slow on learning because right now I'm in uni,
For sure.
so I do prefer to take my studies first before I start to learn more of Japanese and stuff. But I have been learning a bit of Japanese, a bit of speaking, and that's pretty much it. Like there's very simple stuff, like the good morning, good evening,
Yeah.
your
Everyone
voice,
has to start
yeah,
somewhere.
your voice
And
is
definitely it'll
nice,
be
and
easier for you because of the kanji.
yeah, correct. But I think speaking is the harder part. So speaking would be my goal for the next 5 years if I could speak at least like decent
Yeah.
Japanese, not like the high level kind of thing. It's just a decent Japanese.
Oh yeah,
would
if you
be
can get to like a conversational level where you can like at least understand people, that'd be
correct.
awesome.
That would be really good for me. So that's where I wanted to get in the next 5 years,
Hell yeah.
and if I could interview more people, like, I mean, not just like my friends now, like you guys. That's more like I want to like have more people on the podcast, but that we'll see how. That one is not a important goal, but this is just something that I would like to achieve in the next few years, hopefully. And hopefully this podcast continues and does not stop like 3 years ago it did.
Yeah, we gotta see about the after school writers. I don't know. We'll see what happens there.
Yeah, and this podcast too. I want to continue this podcast as much because I have a lot of
Yeah.
interest in this one.
Well,
think it's-
thanks for hanging out.
Yeah, yeah, so this is the end of the podcast. Thank you for coming, Dias.
Woo.
Appreciate that you took the time out for this very long podcast, Very, very long time. But it's been a really good conversation, honestly. It's
Yeah, I enjoyed
something
it.
new, something interesting, and I get to learn more stuff about each of us every day, something like that, It's really nice. It's a good conversation. So thank you once again for coming onto the podcast,
You're welcome. I had fun.
Okay, so thank you and goodbye. Yeah.